Hello. Hey guys, hi. I hope the audio is coming fine. Welcome to the Brahma Purana live stream. It's great to be back with Brahma Purana. Every time I end up having to take a break for 2-3 days or more than that, while in between reading the Brahma Purana, I really miss it because I must say that when I started the Brahma Purana, I did not know a lot of things. I did not know a lot of contexts. Mainly, first of all, I did not know a lot of the stories mentioned here. I did not know a lot of ways of wisdom, ways of advice in the Hindu culture that are mentioned here. I did not know most of these characters mentioned here, and also in the beginning it felt like now I'm kind of in a flow state reading Brahma Purana. I'm kind of in the groove now. It wasn't so in the beginning. In the beginning, it was heavily geography oriented. That there's this river, that river, this river. Now it's more philosophical and more adhyatmika, so to speak. But more importantly, when I started the Brahma Purana, I did not know what is the place of or importance of Brahma Purana in the different kinds of texts we have. As we know that Hinduism is not a religion of a book; it's a religion of a library and number of libraries. So now, since that I've read almost the entirety of just the volume 1 of the Brahma Puran, and now I have heard some more people on these topics in different podcasts a little more, especially people like Rajarshi Nandi. Now I know that okay, so Puranas are actually a great way for a beginner to start reading Indian scriptures and Hindu scriptures, because I just finished listening to the upward appearance of Rajarshi Nandi, which is about 2 hours and 56 minutes long, and he said that if you don't want to get into anything serious, if you don't have that kind of background or knowledge, just pick up a Purana and start reading. And that is exactly what I did. So it was really fun for me. Although before that I started reading Arthashastra, which is not really a philosophical text, so to speak. So fair enough. And I finished Manusmriti before Brahma Puran, but I did start reading Brahma Puran even before Manusmriti. So basically, I did unknowingly what Rajarshi Nandi suggested anyway. So that has been a great realization for me that okay, I did the right thing. And of course, I have parallelly started reading the Bengali Rig Ved, and I've ended the one of the versions of Manusmriti by Arya Samaj, and after Brahma Puran ends, we'll start History of Indian Philosophy, and I intend to start the Shiv Puran as well, which recently came out by Bibek Debroy's translation, 3 volume. It released I think only this year, April or May. So it's fun. I did not know that Brahma what exactly which rank the Puranas hold in the hierarchies of scriptures. So I thought what my sense was that Purana is just another ancient Hindu scripture. I thought, okay, Veds are there. Maybe Upanishads are kind of a more philosophical version of Veds, and Puranas are written much later than Upanishads. But there are not really any rankings based on the depth or how accessible it is to which people. So now I know that Puranas are the most accessible. So that's a fun thing. দাদা লাইফটা একটু আগেই করলে ভালো হয় না, এর আগে অন্য অনেক গুরুত্বপূর্ণ লোকজন, কুশাল মেহরার মতো লোকজন ইত্যাদি আরও বড় বড় পডকাস্টগুলো সব লাইভ থাকে, ওই সময় আমার ঢুকে লাভ নেই। Vanakkam Anna, Vanakkam. Okay, a new person. Yoga Janakiraman. Okay, hello. I think you should do a collab with Karthik Gopinath from Ilaya Bharatam channel or with Dharma from Nationalist Madrasi channel, I see. Okay, I'll check them out. It seems people from different states are joining, yes. Shaptarshi, hello. White Raptor, Namaskaram. Okay, White Raptor is from Kerala. Yoga Janakiraman is from Tamil Nadu. Nice. And a lot of Bengali people also. So, great. Nice people joining all over. Okay, so, yeah. Let's start Brahma Puran. And even today's chapter is going to start with someone whom I have never heard of. The subchapter is called Return of Sandipani's Son. And I have no idea who this character is in Hindu philosophy. So, we are starting with quoting Rishi Vyasa again. Vyasa said, "After witnessing all his deeds, knowledge was generated in Devaki and Vasudeva. Realizing this, to confound all the Yadus, Hari extended his Vaishnavi Maya again. He said, "O mother, O father, Samkarshana and I have been eager to see you for a very long time, but we were scared of Kamsa. Among virtuous sons, the part of life that is spent without worshipping the mother and the father, that part is futile. O father, if an embodied person who is born worships his preceptors, gods, dvijas, the mother and the father, his birth is successful. O father, therefore, pardon all the transgressions we have committed. Because of Kamsa's valor and power, we were under the subjugation of the enemy." End quote. Having said this in due order, he bowed down before the elders among the Yadus. He worshipped them in the appropriate way and satisfied their minds. Kamsa was lying down dead on the ground, and Kamsa's wives surrounded him, because that's where we ended last day's Brahma Purana live stream. Kamsa just died. Overwhelmed by grief and misery, his mothers lamented. Hari was also sad at what he had been forced to do and comforted them in many ways. His own eyes were full of tears and he reassured them. Madhusudana freed Ugrasena from his bondage. With his son dead, he instated him in his own kingdom. Having been instated in the kingdom by Krishna, the lion among the Yadus performed the funeral rites for his son and all the others who had been killed. When the funeral rites had been performed, Hari approached the throne and said, "O Lord, without any hesitation, instruct us about the tasks we should perform. Because of Yayati's curse, this lineage does not deserve this kingdom, but you have obtained it. With me as your servant, you can command the gods not to speak of kings." Okay, a footnote is given. Yayati had cursed his sons, of whom Yadu was one, that they would not be kings. Okay. Having told Ugrasena this, the illustrious Keshava, who was acting like a human, meaning otherwise Krishna would have performed the task himself. So that's why he is acting like it said that he's acting like a human, because otherwise he would have performed the task himself. So, who was acting like a human, addressed Vayu in human words. Sri Krishna said, "O Vayu, go to Indra. Tell him, O Vasava, enough of your pride. Give Ugrasena your assembly hall, known as Sudharma. Krishna has said that the king deserves this excellent jewel. The assembly hall known as Sudharma is appropriate for the Yadus." Thus addressed, Vayu went and told Shachi's consort everything. Purandara gave Vayu the assembly hall known as Sudharma. Seeking refuge in Govinda's arms, the bulls among the Yadus enjoyed the divine assembly hall, decorated with excellent jewels brought by Vayu. Purandara. Baladeva and Janardana knew every kind of Vijnana. They knew every kind of Jnana. Those two valiant ones, excellent ones from the Yadu lineage knew, but they wished to preserve the progression from preceptor to disciple. They knew, but they still wanted to maintain the tradition. Sandipani from Kashi then resided in the city of Avanti, which we have discussed specifically as a great pilgrimage spot after we discussed Utkala Kshetra, Odisha. And Avanti is in Madhya Pradesh. Sandipani from Kashi then resided in the city of Avanti, Ujjain, To learn about weapons, those two brave ones went to him. They became his disciples and behaved as one should towards a preceptor. Thus, those two brave ones demonstrated proper conduct to all the people. They studied the collected texts of Dhanurveda, along with all its mysteries. O Brahmanas, this was extraordinary. But they accomplished this in 64 days and nights. This superhuman feat was impossible. Therefore, Sandipani thought that the sun god and the moon god had come to him. As soon as it was mentioned, they learned everything about all the weapons. They then asked, "Please tell us, what shall we offer as a guru's dakshina?" The immensely intelligent one witnessed that deed, which was beyond the senses. He asked for his son who had died in Prabhasa in the salty ocean. Taking their weapons, the two of them went to the salty ocean and told the ocean, "Give us our Guru's son." The great ocean joined its hands in salutation and, offering arghya in a vessel, said, I have not abducted Sandipani's son, O slayer of Asuras. A Daitya named Panchanjana, in the form of a conch shell, Shankha has seized the child. He is in my waters now. Thus addressed, Krishna entered the waters and killed Panchajana. Okay, so the previous one was a spelling mistake. It's actually Panchajana. I've heard of this name. He gathered the bones and an excellent conch shell was created from this. Krishna's conch shell known as Panchajanya. Its blare, the blare of the nad, the Shankha, so Shankhnad. Its blare reduces the strength of the Daityas, destroys adharma, and enhances the energy of the gods. Filling everything with the sound of Panchajanya, Hari went to Yama's city. Yama's city is Puri, I guess, right? With Baladeva's strength, he defeated Vaivashvata Yama. The child was undergoing hardships and he asked for him, with a body just like it used to be earlier. So footnote is given, the child was undergoing hardships in hell. Krishna asked that the son be restored, S-O-N sons, so Putra, son be restored with a body just like the one before death. So the child was undergoing hardships and he asked for him with a body just like it used to be earlier. Along with Bala, Krishna, supreme among strong ones, returned the son to his father. They returned again to Mathura, protected by Ugrasena. Rama and Janardana delighted the men and women who were there. End of this subchapter. Next subchapter is called Jarasandha's attack. Okay, let me check some comments. And I'll have a sip of coffee. Panchajanya. Okay, I'm drunk now. In Bengali, Dada is reacting to videos and discussing about it. Here, Brahma Purana. This is unfair. No, we will do Bengali live. वो उस दिन का Bengali live stream तो करना पड़ा क्योंकि वो पूरा वीडियो खुद ही बंगाली में था ना. तो उसका अगर इंग्लिश में या हिंदी में लाइव स्ट्रीम करना चाहूँ, रिएक्शन करना चाहूँ, तो उसका हर एक लाइन मुझे ट्रांसलेट करके फिर उसको रिएक्ट करना पड़ेगा, तो वो इम्पॉसिबल हो जाएगा. बट आई हैव अदर रिएक्शन एंड डिस्कशन एनालिसिस वीडियोज इन प्लान. फर्स्ट इज रोमेला थापर्स इंटरव्यू विद करण थापर. Then I plan to do J.Sai Deepak's that hilarious interview with that journalist Shoma Chaudhary and something Kirpal, the gay rights advocate. That was a very sad interview. This is why there's that issue of being qualified to talk about some things or being qualified to talk to someone. J.Sai Deepak was way above the IQ level of the. I think J.Sai Deepak's IQ points went down a few points by discussing, by talking and having a discussion with those two people. अभय ঠিক চিচি থেকে অনেক ভালো. পঞ্চজন্য আমি একটা বই পেয়েছি. এভরিওয়ান ইন দ্য চ্যাট প্লিজ লুক আপ মাল্লা পুরানা. আচ্ছা, মাল্লা পুরানা, হোয়াট ইজ ইট অ্যাবাউট? ইজ ইট অ্যাবাউট wrestling? Because I think wrestling is called Malla Yuddha, and of course the surname Malla Reddy. Then there's a descendant lineage of the Malla kings of in Birbhum who are also from who so the person who started that dynasty called Malla dynasty of Bengal, which is why that place came to be known as Mallabhum or Mallabhumi, that person was adopted by someone in the Bihar region. So the dynasty did not come from Karnataka as such. But anyway, those people, the word Malla in their lineage is because of their wrestling culture. Malla Yuddhanya, theek. What? It's actually about wrestling. Damn, how old is it? I never heard of this. I'm absolutely going to buy it as soon as possible. Thank you for recommending it. It's a journal on Malla Yuddha by Sri Krishna. What? अरे ये सब कहाँ पे? अरे religion of peace बोलते फिरा. Man, thank you for recommending it. Please remind me in the main comment section as well. Okay, I'll pin it and also buy it immediately. Wrestling लेकर book. ममता बनर्जी भाषार मतो sound effects. If there was a game to take one shot for each instance of this noise, then I would have been definitely drunk. Here, Mike is singing. Arey, why is it happening today? I brought a new mic cable. I think this is happening from my chair today. It's not happening from the mic, I think. Let's judge them whether or not they are our friends. अभय আমি ওই দিন ভেবেছি এটা ফানি এফেক্ট দিচ্ছে. Yes, I saw the live stream again and that noise was happening repeatedly. That day it was from the mic cable only because there's some technical issue with my StreamYard and my audio interface. But today it's not supposed to happen. Today I'm on Google Meet only. Today I think it's happening from my chair. Hilarious problems. Famous Leela of Sri Krishna, yes. What are your thoughts on that flag on Howrah Bridge? Oh my god. So do you all know, guys, people outside Bengal, a clip went viral yesterday of a flag on the Howrah Bridge, near the Howrah Bridge, I think, which is the Indian flag, kind of, the saffron, the white, the green, and in between the crescent moon and the star. The Islamic Republic of India dreams of those people. So yeah, what do I think about it? Yes, this should wake some people up. These things will help you to argue with commies in Bengal that, see, there's no threat. You're just going to say, yeah, Shah Rukh Khan is a great man, APJ Abdul Kalam is a great man, therefore no threat from anyone. And you are just going to eat biryani and everything's going to be kumbaya. No, see, these people want these things. How are you going to resist them? What's your stance on this? What's your resistance to this? Are you going to depend solely on law and order? If you solely depend on law and order, what's happening in Europe? Europe has better law and order than India. When has law and order stopped these people from doing what they want anywhere in the world? So tell us, what's your stance on this? Okay. Let's see. I am currently traveling in train and I found bed sheets to be dirty. I put up a complaint on Rail Madad and within 8 minutes they changed it. Although the new bed sheets wasn't much better, but still. Free PDF page archive hai. Nice. That's why I will vote for Modi. Okay. Anushka Tyagi. Come on, Saurabh Kripal was fair in his dialogue with JSD. The anchor may have been unnecessarily blasphemy. I am saying that Saurabh Kripal was doing very low level arguments with him because of the premises he was setting. What are fundamental rights? His premises on what is a marriage? Those things are very 2010ish liberal talking points. They need to be unpacked even further, which is what we will discuss when we do the live stream on that. Which is that, what is the definition of marriage? A marriage is not just a contract between two people to have sex for a few days, have a kid or maybe not, and then and then leave each other whenever a slight problem arises. That is not the definition of marriage. Marriage is a socio-cultural or religio-cultural institution in the first place. If someone does not want to avail to that, there's always Special Marriages Act anyway. For anyone, if someone is not Hindu, atheist, they should not be forced to marry in a Hindu way, obviously. तो उनके लिए ठीक है. I don't have a problem with that. But what is marriage fundamentally? And what are the implications of those things? What is a fundamental right? Usme I thought there were huge flimsy, filled with holes and bullshit premises which were being used by Soma Chaudhary and Mr. Kirpal. And Soma Chaudhary kept saying fundamental rights, and that classic argument that if they do it, tumko kya ho raha hai? You are not facing any harm. So what? Why bother? Now, why bother argument is very unacceptable to me right now, because we are currently seeing what USA is facing today with transgenderism and LGBTQIA double plus two-spirit community, okay? That's all the result of their saying, so what? You are not having a problem for 80 years, or at least since the 1960s. You have to say, no, there is a problem. Because I cannot afford to have this become an aspirational model. That is my sole qualm with this with this issue. That, okay, I will accept it, but it should not be the aspirational model. It should not be the goal. It should not be the cool thing to do. Because that is what it always starts with in every society. First they say, accept it. What's your problem? Tumhara kya ja raha hai? And next thing you know, 20 years later, it is the thing to be. Because first, they start off saying that we are facing a discrimination if you're not letting me get married. And then, when that is allowed, then they say there is even more discrimination. How does that work? Tell me. Before gay rights were not decriminalized, before marriage was legal, they were saying that is the end of the world. There is so much unfair things happening in society. I'm talking in the American context, and which soon are going to be applicable in the Indian context as well. That, see, this is the epitome of an oppressive society, that these two men are not getting to have sex or getting to get married. Okay, so that is the epitome of oppression and unfairness. The moment that gets legal, then they start saying there is historical injustices against them. Now we need more compensation. So we are back to square one. Absolutely. तो भुगतो, तो वो राइट भी नहीं देना है तुमको, क्योंकि तुम और वो बोल के आफ्टर यू गेट ऑल द राइट्स, just like any other citizen, then you start saying there is so much historical injustices happening to you, or because of systemic problems that you are not going to not getting to get ahead in life, and then use that as a justification to push those ideas and ideas of sex and sexuality and gender ideology in schools and in mass media. Then you use that to make it the aspirational model, and then next thing you know, no one's having any more kids. And then then you can say that, so what, no one's asking you to have or not have kids. Then the problem is, there is someone always around you in every country who is not going to listen to any of these and is going to go on keep having 3 wives and 50 kids. Okay, there is something to note about that as well. But that does not mean that we oppress our own people just because someone is going to have 50 kids, but there needs to be a balance somewhere. And the only balance I see here is that it cannot be we cannot afford to have this as an aspirational model. There has to be a line somewhere that, yeah, it is what it is. So if you are this way, so fair enough. We have to be reluctantly accepting it, not celebrate it. Yes, gay, go gay. Yes, let all men have sex with all men. No, that is what has happened in USA today. And Mr. Kirpal might not think that's what is happening in India today. It's not, obviously. But the moment you allow them this, they will say that in the next 5 years. I don't even want to get married anymore after looking at outright anti-man matrimony. Oh my God, that is a whole other issue. Mike is like, ek minute. Let me tighten up some cable things. I don't know what's the problem. अजीब बात है, StreamYard में भी हो रहा है, Google Meet में भी हो रहा है. My mic cable is perfectly new. Okay, now we'll resume Brahma Puran. Okay, let me just check some other comments. Shangramjit Chaudhary, and that song on TMS rally embarrassing, they should get death penalty for this. Oh yeah. No, what song I don't know. 70,000 plus cases pending in Supreme Court and they want to discuss LGTB. And I am also convinced I also convinced a Yadav guy to vote for Modi, and he said on center he will definitely vote for Modi and not Lalu Yadav. Yes, they should not. Okay, some contents in this Malla Purana is after Sri Krishna enters Gujarat, he explains why Malla Yuddha is the most important art to be learned. Why haven't we ever heard of this? Nice. Gaylord will rule, yes. Let's see what is the next subchapter. Okay, Jarasandha's attack. Vyasa said, O Brahmanas, the immensely strong Kamsa had married two of Jarasandha's daughters, Asti and Prapti. The immensely strong and powerful lord of Magadha, Jarasandha, was filled with rage when their husband was killed. He arrived with a contingent so as to kill Hari and the Yadavas. Arriving in Mathura, the lord of Magadha laid siege. He was surrounded by 23 Akshohinis of soldiers. Akshohini kya hai? I've never heard of this. Akshohini. 23 Akshohinis of soldiers. Emerging with a small contingent, the powerful Rama and Janardana fought with those powerful soldiers. For those people who are listening to Brahma Puran for the first time, this Rama is Balarama, okay? O excellent sages, Bala and the immensely strong Krishna thought of invoking their ancient weapons. At this, the chakra, the shanga bow, the 2 quivers filled with inexhaustible arrows, and the Komadaki mace, Gada, arriving through the sky before those 2 valiant ones. This is also a mace, okay? This is a mudgal. This is not really a mace. Mace is specifically Gada. Through the sky, the plough arrived in Balabhadra's hands. O Brahmanas, the club, Sunanda, which resembled the fire throughout, also arrived. In the battle, the lord of Magadha and his soldiers were defeated. The brave Rama and Janardana entered the city again. O supreme Brahmanas, though the extremely wicked Jarasandha had been defeated, he had not lost his life. Therefore, Krishna thought he had not been truly defeated. O supreme Brahmanas, with his forces, Jarasandha arrived again and attacked. Rama and Krishna defeated him again. Extremely indomitable, the king of Magadha fought 18 battles against the Yadus, led by Krishna. In each battle, he was defeated by the Yadus. Though Jarasandha possessed a larger force, a smaller force made him flee. The Yadava force was able to counter many because of the protection and greatness of the chakra wielded by Vishnu's portion. The Lord of the universe was playfully observing the dharma and conduct of humans, but he released many kinds of weapons against the enemy. He is the one who creates and destroys the universe in his mind. He did not have to do much to strike against the enemy. However, he was observing the dharma of humans. This meant alliances with the stronger and fighting against those who were weaker. This meant exhibiting samadana danda bheda, bringing down the staff on some occasions and fleeing on others. Yes, be tactful. A footnote is given. The traditional four means are sama, meaning conciliations or negotiation. Dana is bribery. Danda is punishment. And bheda is dissension. The Lord of the universe playfully undertakes what he wishes. Thus, he followed efforts made by those with human bodies. Now, a new subchapter begins. Muchukunda's prayer. Okay. Let's see some comments. I am afraid of girls after seeing his videos. Whose videos? Don't know Akshohini. It's mentioned a lot in Mahabharata. I've never read Mahabharata. Also in Gita. I've never read Gita. I've only read a children's version of Ramayana written by Satyajit Ray's grandfather. Rape laws aren't anti-men. What do you want them? Dilute rape laws? No, the problem with rape laws is not the prosecution part. The rape laws, the problem with the rape laws or any violence towards women laws is that it's so easy to accuse and arrest men. That is the problem. Because at the end of the day, we know very well that a lot of men who are actually doing this are not getting arrested because the women fear them or because of their social stature. So you are not, again, it's a band-aid law. Pointing the gun at the wrong direction, which is a classic Indian or the post-independence Indian judiciary scenario, right? So we are not being able to solve the actual problem, where real men who are actually harassing or raping women or causing violence against women, वहाँ पे actual problems are going on persisting, whereas the laws are so insanely powerful where if someone does have the balls to use those laws, whether it's a woman or a partner of a woman, maybe with whom she's having an affair, or the parents of the woman, in that case, if a man is not, even if he is not remotely involved with the accusation, with the incident, his life is going to get absolutely screwed. That is the problem, and we have to strike a balance here. Because neither is the real problem getting solved, and on top of that, the laws are so insane that too many men are getting victimized just out of the blue with absolutely no fault of theirs. So something needs to be done with this. What the law is today, there's a huge problem with that. Okay, complete army including elephant, cavalry, chariotry, infantry. Okay. Even if I get, okay, Akshohini is a unit of army. Oh, okay, 23 Akshohini, I see. What's the non-band-aid law on rape? Cheladar Raman by Upendra Kishore Roy, yes. What's the non-band-aid law on rape? First of all, I don't think laws solve any societal problems, but we have to see that fewer and fewer men feel the need to do this, or feel arrogant enough to do this, and obviously anyone who does that feels that they can get away with it. So they should not feel that they can get away with it. Now the problem is that the law is so strong that they should not even come to their mind. They should be absolutely fearful that I'm definitely not going to get away with it. But even then, who are the ones doing it most and getting away with it? Who know that they are going to get away with it, no matter how strong the law. So the strength of the law is absolutely a useless tangent here. What can we do other than that? Obviously, pop culture is going to be a great help. YouTubers, etc., creating, propagating better values for men, instilling it in men's head that it's so beneath you to do these things or even think of doing these things. It's so unmanly, unmasculine to do these things, and propagate that further and further with pop culture. Those are the things that can help the problem to not arise in the first place. Because if the problem arises, then we see that either the law is getting misused, or the person who is actually doing it is not even having any problems in their life because of the law anyway. So, and trying to pursue these problems with the help of pop culture has been tried by commies. Now the problem is with commies is that they don't know how to solve any problem ever. They have not solved any problem in society. So what they have done is just said that men are bad. Men think of rape all the time. Men talk about rape all the time. Men think of rape culture in their minds. So if you demonize the group you are trying to live with, and at the same time asking that, hey, you all need to sort your shit out and not do these things. If you start the conversation by saying that you suck, you're a fucking asshole, or metaphorically, of course, and therefore, as a solution to that is that men should be just weak and be simps, and just speak nicely. Don't behave rudely, aggressively with a woman ever, and that is somehow going to stop men from becoming rapists. That is that insane solution leftists came up with absolutely no backing in history, biology, genetics, and even endocrinology for that matter. You have to handle testosterone in a different way, much different way than you handle estrogen. So I'm saying that use the same vehicles, which is pop culture and YouTubers, things, etc., mass media, general content. Use all of that, but tell men that you are so good, you are so awesome that you should not be doing these things. What the opposite was done was that it was said that you are so bad that you think of doing these things. So remember that you are so bad, and therefore don't do these things. No good amount of change is achieved by art, though. No, I disagree hugely with this. Why do you think every Bengali is a commie? Because they have read Karl Marx? No, it's done purely through art. The chief difference between what art became after 60s in the entire world and in India mainly after 70s, 80s versus what art was meant to be, or what art was in the pre-Abrahamic world, and especially in India, is art was always a way of showing your devotion to God in the pre-Abrahamic world, or in India before 60s and 70s. After that, art became a way to play the oppressed narrative. The oppressed is always creating some art to complain about the oppressor. That became art, and then that's why everyone became a commie. Everyone is complaining about the rich person. Everyone is complaining about a factory owner. So obviously, art has fucked our minds more in the recent years. See, our minds did not get fucked because of the British Christian missionaries. Okay, the Christian missionaries screwed the minds of people in those days. हमारा दिमाग किसने चोदा? वो तो आर्ट ने ही किया. बॉलीवुड ने, टॉलीवुड ने, गाने में, हर जगह में. Anushka Tyagi, Howrah Bridge flag incident is a blatant violation of the flag code of India. The person who put that up should be serving. अरे उसको मिलेगा क्या? वो तो हावड़ा के किसी बस्ती में छुप गया. Saptoshi, Dada, Sri Krishna meticulously explains how to start the day, dietary routine, different exercises. What? Holds, throws and conduct in social life. Basically a complete test. What? चेयर का अजीब का साउंड आ रहा है. Yes. It's a chair sound. Okay, or trying to compensate with. The problem is enforcement, which we are compensating with draconian laws. Yeah, but can sufficiently messed up minds be sufficiently cured by? Yes. By definition, what caused the damage will be rectified by that thing only. Okay, next subchapter is called Muchukunda's prayer. Vyasa said, O Brahmanas, in an assembly of the Yadus in the settlement of cowherds, Shalya called a Brahmana named, I don't know if this is supposed to be Shalya or Shalya. Shalya called a Brahmana named Gargya a eunuch. At this, all the Yadavas laughed. Therefore, filled with anger, he went to Dakshinapatha, desiring a son who would cause fear among the Yadus. He tormented himself in austerity. In this case, eunuch means Napunsaka, right? He worshipped Mahadeva and only ate iron powder. In the 12th year, Hara was pleased and granted him a boon. The lord of the Yavanas had no son. He had intercourse with his wife, and a son who was as resplendent as the fire was born. Gargya had intercourse with the wife of the king of the Yavanas. He was named Kalayavana or Kalayavana. That's the problem with Penguin Publications translations. We don't know which is the As Ucharan and which is the A Ucharan. So he was named Kalayavana, and his chest was as hard as the tip of the Vajra. Instating him in his own kingdom, the lord of the Yavanas left for the forest. He was maddened by his valor and pride. He asked Narada about the most powerful kings on earth, and Narada told him about the Yadavas. He surrounded himself with 1,000 crores of mlechas and with elephants, horses and chariots made with great efforts. O sages, he constantly thought about the Yadavas every day, and becoming intolerant towards them, left for the city of Mathura. Krishna thought, quote, on seeing that the Yadava forces have been reduced by Yavana, Magadha will strike against us. Or after destroying the diminished forces of Magadha, Kalayavana will become strong and will advance to kill us. The Yadus confront two calamities. Therefore, I will construct an invincible fortress for the Yadus, a place from which even the women will be able to fight, not to speak of the bulls among the Vrishnis. It will be a place where wicked enemies will not be able to advance much against the Yadavas. Even if I am intoxicated, distracted, sleeping, or am residing somewhere else. End quote. Having thought this, Govinda sought 12 yojanas from the great ocean and constructed the city of Dwarka there. There were large gardens and large ramparts there. It was adorned with hundreds of lakes. There were hundreds of walls and fortifications, and it resembled Indra's Amravati. Janardana brought the people who resided in Mathura there. When Kalayavana's arrival was imminent, he himself went to Mathura. Let me just check if anyone has explained the pronunciation. Kaljabon. So yeah, Shalya, Shalya, and then Kalayavana. Kalayavana. Okay. When the soldiers arrived and set up camp outside Mathura, without any weapons, Govinda went out and Yavana saw him. The king got to know that this was Vasudeva, whom even great yogis cannot obtain in their minds. With his arms as weapons, because Kalayavana did not carry any other weapons. So with his arms as weapons, he followed him. Followed by him, Krishna entered a large cave. The immensely valiant Muchukunda, the lord of men, was sleeping there. Yavana also entered and saw a man lying down on a bed. Thinking that this was Krishna, the evil-minded one kicked him with his foot. O sages, as soon as he glanced at him, the blazing fire resulting from the rage instantly reduced Yavana to ashes. Having taken part in a battle between the gods and the Asuras, he had defeated the giant Asuras and had not slept for a very long time. Therefore, he had asked the gods for a boon that he might be able to sleep. The gods had said, where you are asleep, if anyone wakes you up, the fire that is generated from your body will instantly reduce the person to ashes. A footnote is given. Knowing about Muchukunda's boon, Krishna had set a trap for Kalayavana. Okay. Having thus burnt the wicked one, he saw Madhusudana and asked, who are you? He replied, I have been born in the lunar dynasty. I am Vasudeva's son, born in the Yadu lineage. Hearing this, Muchukunda remembered the words of the aged Gargya. Remembering everything, he prostrated himself before Hari, the Lord of everything, and said, you have been born as Vishnu's portion. You are the Supreme Lord. Earlier, Gargya had said that Hari's birth would occur in the Yadu lineage, at the end of the Dvapara, in the 28th Mahayuga. There is no doubt that you are he, and have arrived for the welfare of mortals. I am no longer able to tolerate your extremely great energy. He continued in words that rumbled deeply, like clouds full of rain. Your feet are extremely delicate. In the great battle between the gods and the Asuras, the extremely great Daitya soldiers were unable to withstand your great energy. I can't stand it either. For a being who has descended into samsara, you are the supreme refuge. O one who destroys the afflictions of those who seek refuge, be pleased. Take away everything inauspicious in me. You are the being who is the oceans, the mountains, the rivers, the forests, the earth, the sky, wind, water, and fire. You are the supreme being. You pervade everything. You are the one who devises birth. You are devoid of sound and other objects of the senses. You do not suffer from old age. You have no birth. You are devoid of decay. The immortals, the ancestors, the yakshas, the gandharvas, the rakshasas, the siddhas and the apsaras originate from you. Humans, large animals, birds, reptiles and small animals originate from you. So do the large trees, the past and the future, everything mobile and immobile, everything embodied and disembodied, gross and subtle. You are the creator of the universe. Without you there is nothing. O illustrious one, I have been whirled around in this cycle of samsara. I have suffered from the three kinds of hardship, and they have never ceased. Three kinds of hardship relate to the adhi daivika, destiny, adhi bhautika, nature, and adhyatmika, one's own nature. Happiness and unhappiness have been like mirages, mistaken to be water bodies. O protector, O Lord, whatever I have accepted has only been for the sake of torment, the kingdom, the earth, the army, the treasure, allies, sons, wives, servants, and sound, and other objects of the senses. O one without decay, O Lord of the gods, I accepted them, thinking that they would lead to happiness. However, they have eventually caused me torment. O protector, even the large number of gods who had gone to the world of the gods desired to obtain my assistance. What is eternal? Where is nivritti? Everything in the universe is the result of your powers. O Supreme Lord, without worshipping you, how can there be nivritti? Foolish ones who are confounded by your maya obtain birth, death, old age, and the like. Amidst all these, those wicked ones see the king of the dead, Yama. In extremely terrible hells, they are bound by hundreds of nooses. Such men obtain misery. This universe is your form. Confounded by your maya, I am excessively addicted to material objects. O Supreme Lord, therefore I have been whirled around in this fathomless pit of mine. Thus, without any shore, I seek refuge with you now. You are the Lord and the supreme destination. There is nothing else. My mind is exhausted and tormented from samsara. O refuge, I wish to become non-attached. Okay, next subchapter is called Balarama's Return to Gokula. Okay, let me know if the audio is that sound that is coming, is it very frequent? Okay, is it absolutely, annoying to listen to this? Then I will have to do something. Wait, I think, let's try this. Okay. Next, let's check some comments. Dada, what do you think of Kampanthi appropriating Ravi Thakur and also Kazi Nazrul Islam? Kavi Nazrul Islam has written one kind of jihadi poem which no one knows of. Other than that, he is a Muslim who wrote devotional songs for Kali. So that's a perfect leftist talking point anyway. So you can't stop that. But you all need to tell more people about Kazi Nazrul Islam's song on Muslims going to war. Okay, and Rabindranath Tagore is a very man of different shades, of course. In his earlier life, until he became completely old, he was obviously very Hindutvadi. So you all just need to counter by putting out those quotes and poems that he wrote, which would be today considered absolutely Hindu fascist in nature. So just tell them that, okay, no, that's not the only shade of Rabindranath, okay? The ones you are celebrating, see, there's so much of these as well. Abhay, true, it's such a shame because sometimes it feels British laws were far better. Saptarshi, our laws and jurisprudence is a joke. Okay, I stand corrected. Let's see what discussion is going on. Okay. The true communism has never been tried. How does one counter this argument? Okay. Then you have to say that if you are saying that the recipe is great, but no one has been able to cook it, So maybe the recipe itself sucks, and maybe the ingredients also suck. It's not that the people who are, and the common follow-up to this claim is that maybe we have not been able to understand Marx. Maybe he meant good things. People who apply Marxism, they are the ones who suck. Then you have to immediately counter them by saying that this is an absolutely religious way of thinking. That, see, God is God. We are all the fallen ones. The ideal is the ideal. We will never be able to match up to the ideal. And so you are using that kind of narrative for Karl Marx. You are treating Karl Marx as a god. When there is a god-sized hole in your heart, that hole gets filled up with all sorts of random crap. And among those random crap is Marxism. So you don't want to believe in God, but you think of Karl Marx so highly that you think that no. He is a great man. He wrote all great ideas. No one has just been able to apply it properly. That's not going to work. Okay, let's see. Abhay is saying, Anushka ji, are you from Kolkata? Okay. These laws come from group rights mindset over individual rights. Yes. Most of our laws come from group rights mindset. Even what Shoma Chaudhary was saying while debating Jesai Deepak, out of the blue she starts saying, no, as a woman, as a journalist, are bhai, how does that matter? Then I'm not a woman and not a journalist, so I should not care about your argument. We are talking about basic law and order problems in the country. Out of the blue, you are saying repeatedly, as a woman and as a journalist, this matters to me. But even though that law was not what the point they were discussing at that moment, when she started saying that as a woman, as a journalist, it was not even about women and journalists. They were talking about journalists being commie fucks and taking George Soros's money in general. Isme se as a woman, as a journalist, kahan se aa gaya? So that's the group rights mindset, that no one has these liberals and leftists have not updated any of their arguments since their college and university days, and their college and university syllabus has not been updated since the 1960s. Maybe after 2015-16 they have started reading a bit of critical race theory, but other than that it's all the same nonsense. Muchukunda jar name Muchukundapur, I see. তার থেকে কি মুকুন্দপুর নাকি? SC/ST Atrocities Act is also an example of the same phenomenon. Absolutely. Here to learn. Yavna word comes from Ionian, that is the westernmost part of Anatolia, modern Turkey. Abhay, Arebhai, that law I believe is the most draconian in all history. Nina, not really. This was a guess made by H.H. Wilson but later refuted by Vidyasagar. I see. Sorry, Dwarkanath Vidyabhushan in his Soma Prakash. I see. The argument can be stretched by some wherein they would say in Mao's China the peasants did not control capital, so it was not true communist. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Saptarshi, our law's jurisprudence is a joke. Let's see. Because I have seen in Swarajya. Okay, let me check some more comments. Saptarshi, many of these laws are British laws. Yes, I read Hindu Muslim Juddho, where he asked them to fight. Yes. Shivaji Utshav of Rabindranath is full on Hindutva. Yes. I hope you have seen my video on it, full analysis. Because I have seen in Swarajya an article from Qazi Nazrul Islam as a friend of Hindus by Aravindan Neelakandan. Yes. Aravindan Neelakandan को किसने बोला कि काजी नजरुल इस्लाम बड़ा भला आदमी है? तो बंगालीज ने बोला. तो बंगाली मार्क्सिस्ट ने भी वही पढ़ा है. बंगाली हिंदुत्ववादियों ने भी ज़्यादातर वही पढ़ा है. पढ़ने वाले तो कम है ओवरऑल. और बहुत बंगाली हिंदुत्ववादी का ये प्रॉब्लम है कि नहीं आफ्टर ऑल हमारा जो मतलब inside Bengal we will have a problem debating with commies, so let's just appreciate all Bengali characters in history forever. Let's not remotely criticize any Bengali, otherwise they will say that you are anti-Bengali. So this fear of connotations of what you are, that really pisses me off. And this is one thing Jesai Deepak also does. He has problems with the term right wing because of the connotations right wing has. But that argument does not apply with anything else Jesai Deepak does. Everything that Jesai Deepak does has some insanely disastrous connotation for a leftist. You say Hindu Rashtra, connotation. Okay, Indian culture, connotation. कास्टिज्म हो गया. सो कॉनोटेशन लेफ्टिस्ट हर जगह में निकालेगा. तुम कॉनोटेशन के डर से क्या क्या मुंह बंद करके झूठ बोलोगे. तो देयर इज द कॉनोटेशन दैट हिंदुत्ववादीज आर एंटी बंगाली, सो यू विल से दैट राजा राममोहन रॉय वाज द बेस्ट थिंग दैट हैपेंड टू इंडिया. तुमको कॉनोटेशन का एक्यूजेशन दिया जाएगा तो तुम बोलोगे कि काजी नजरुल इस्लाम नेवर रोट दैट मुस्लिम वर्ड पोएम. ओके. And then there's this made-up king called Vikramaditya. There is absolutely zero historical basis, zero historical evidence to say that he was a great king of any sort. And any topic in which leftist historians and nationalist historians agree upon, that you must know is probably a real thing. So there is only, I think, one remotely a folk tale sort of a book, which no one knows who wrote it, has said that Vikramaditya was a great king. No, not Vikramaditya, Pratapaditya. So Bengali pride people use that as their model, that yeah, see, even Bengalis were such great kings. अरे भाई, तुम्हारा शशांक है, तुमको ये मेड अप प्रतापादित्य क्यों चाहिए? अजीब बात है. तुम्हारा ऋषि औरबिंदो है, तुमको राममोहन राय क्यों चाहिए? I don't get this. So Jadunath Sarkar and probably even R.C. Majumdar have said that there was no such great king called Pratapaditya. The person you are talking about was a small time zamindar who kept running away from Mughals or other Muslim invaders and did negotiations with them to help him get a safe passage. He never fought any great wars and won against any big Muslim invader. Communism is a religion and Marx is the god, and their holy book is the manifesto, and their Devi is Judith Butler. Yes. Even Don Lemon has used as a black man in the famous interview. Yes. And Douglas Murray says this, which we can't apply every time, because it's after all it's a conversational device set piece as well, because sometimes you have to say you end up saying as a, see, because a lot of time I will say that as a musician I am saying this, so I kind of appeal to an authority in a way, but I don't think that should be the goal. That should be looked down upon, and I am ashamed of doing that, but I end up saying this because I grew up in a commie society anyway. But Douglas Murray says that anytime you hear someone using that phrase that starts with as a, you know that person is going to say bullshit. Shangrabjit Chaudhuri is saying, comment kahan gaya? Wait. There are two religions in earth. Yes, Rabindranath Thakur's quote, which have distinct enmity against all other religions. Read the whole comment, Dada. Abhay, whole comment. Saptarshi, many of these laws are continuation from British laws too. Which comment did I miss, Abhay? Okay. Repeat one, so, okay. And communists proudly say Marx is Devta in party office is Mandir. Yes. Please change from top comments to all comments. Yeah, that's a good idea. अच्छा, मुझे यहाँ पे ऑप्शन दे रहा है लाइव चैट एंड टॉप चैट. ओके, ऑल कमेंट्स का ऑप्शन नहीं दे रहा है. Where do I change it from? I don't know. I think live stream में नहीं होता है. All comments का ऑप्शन ही नहीं है. Live chat है. Okay. Let's see. I'll refresh the page. I'm refreshing. Wait. Okay. Read the whole comment. And he comes. Here to learn. I don't get Nojrul at all. Sometimes he's a jihadi, sometimes Hindu, sometimes social reform. Yes. Dada, please change from top comment. Okay. Saptarshi, in that case, what I was saying the last day, and I forgot the name of that poet. I was talking basically about Amir Khusro. Okay. So Amir Khusro, who is known as a great poet among all liberals and commies in India. But he has also written glorifying the destruction of Hindu temples. And even in case of Qazi Nazrul Islam, what you can guess is, in that case, you'll have to make a judgment based on what is the most amount of things this person has written. Okay. Now, most poems by Qazi Nazrul Islam is about social reform and about Ma Kali, I guess, right? I'm 60% sure about that. I'm not 100% sure because I did not spend a lifetime reading Qazi Nazrul Islam. But then when someone does end up writing those things, I think it might be a case of someone basically asking him to write it. Some Muslim leader of some sort that, "Arey, lik, nahi likhega to jayega kahan?" Or maybe he got funded for writing this. Maybe that particular month he was starving. He was very, very poor. Maybe he did not have enough to eat, and he went to some Maulana and he said that write a poem for us, then we'll pay you. That might be the same for Amir Khusro as well. So they are after all artists. Artists need to eat based on patronage. So patron जो होगा वो थोड़ा बहुत तो बोलना पड़ेगा ही. Okay. নজরুল একসাথে কিভাবে এত ভক্তিগীতি লিখে আবার জিহাদি কবিতাও লিখলেন, এই যে কারণটা এক্ষুনি বললাম. Then swastika also has a connotation. What should we do here? Yeah, that's what connotation is not important. JSD is clearly Hindu, right? Yes, it's so funny that he hides behind the Indic Wing label. Yeah, I don't get it. And it's not like he's a stupid person that he doesn't get it. I think only in this particular context he has a sort of a blind spot that no, right wing means Nazi. इंडिया के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हम है राइट विंग तो क्या हुआ? Here to learn, true, the commies have their own version of avatars. Yes. Vikramaditya conquered entire Asia according to Kattar Hindus. I think I was talking about Pratapaditya. He's a Bengali king, Bengali pride king. Okay. Shashanko amader gorbo. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe because Pratapaditya name sounds cool. Yes, Pratap. Aditya, his real name wasn't even Pratapaditya. That was also a given title that I think he himself gave it to him. He gave it to himself. My English is deteriorating. White Raptor, Vikramaditya thing is somewhat really. Yeah. Okay. Anushka Tyagi, no, there's a video of him explaining the right versus indic. Watch it for clarity. But he has made a video on that, but it's not exactly clear because the things that he argues as that, no, see, these are indic wing. Those can also be easily called right wing. Why aren't they right wing? I don't get it. The only in culture, so definitely what indic wing is right wing, except maybe the xenophobia part of it. Right wing, he thinks right wing has to be xenophobic, but that is also a very European concept. American right wing does not have to be kick out all Muslims or kick out all leftists and liberals from the country. That is not what American right wing is all about. So right wing can vary differently in different places according to the society. So if you are saying that right and left concept only does not apply to India, that is a fight that it's a waste of time to waste. It's a useless battle to fight. Because you are going to have to delve into so much other stuff that you are going to miss out on time to fight the actual war. The actual division today is between the left and the non-left. And the non-left is saying things that usually right-wingers say. And the only thing that J. Sai Deepak does might have a real argument on saying that, no, I'm not a right-winger, is on economics. But even in that, I agree that since I am a cultural right-winger, therefore I will say that economic right-wing, which is capitalism, free market, does not apply to all corners of the country. No. Dev Bhumi is outside the capitalism fold. It must be kept that way. I'm saying that as a free market guy who is also culturally Hindu. Okay. So, not the ancient concept of Nagara, Grama, and then people who don't want to live in these places, they subscribe to, they go and live in the forest. That's what I'm saying. Have the Nagara and Grama and apply your development in Grama, apply free market for Nagara, but leave the Dev Bhumi out of it simply. What's non-right wing about that? Okay. Swarajya is a mouthpiece of RSS. Live chat में all messages. Filter icon ने गए. देखिए এখানে অপশন আসছে টগল টাইম স্ট্যাম্প টগল পপ আউট চ্যাট না আমার এখানে অপশনগুলো দেখাচ্ছে না ওগুলো লাইভ চ্যাট হয়ে গেলে দেখায় ও লাইভ চ্যাটে শেষ হলো I clicked on live chat but it's not okay now happened okay I think something got refreshed. Let's see what happens now. Okay. Swarajya is a mouthpiece of RSS but Kazi Nazrul Islam Persianized Bengali language. Did he? I think many other people did that as well. I don't think Kazi Nazrul Islam was alone to blame for it. I think it happened much before Kazi Nazrul Islam. It's called Dobhashi. The Dobhashi concept came, I think, much before Kazi Nazrul Islam, as far as I know. Amin Khusro wrote the most vile shit, yes. He thought Hindus were below animals and only made for slavery to Muslims, yes. Left-right clear definition to bujina. Leftist is someone who believes in a global brotherhood of poor people and believes that rich people are the enemy because anyone who is successful in life has that success because of some unearned privilege. No one has worked hard for it except anyone with a red big bindi. That is the leftist argument. And right wing conversely talks about hard work and pride in your country and your society and your culture and your religion. Okay, that's left wing and that's right wing. Okay. Can you shed some light on Chandraketu and the place called Chandraketugarh? No, I can't shed any light on it. All I know is that it was mentioned in Mahabharata as well, as far as I know, and it's ancient, insanely ancient, and luckily it's nearby Kolkata. But there's not much to visit basically. It's just one small park sort of a garden where you'll see some Bengali mein dhibi bolte hain, some mounds and a bit of brick walls. What do you think about Kushal's atheist versus disbeliever Charvaka argument? Yeah, That's a great argument Kushal Mehra is making recently. I totally agree with that. He's saying that atheist means someone who is against God, someone who is anti-God, anti-religion, anti-religious people. He is saying that no, I simply don't believe that, but I have no problem with you. Believe what you believe. I am not going to actively go and pursue and tell you that no, see bro, you are so stupid. That is the same Abrahamic conversion mindset. No, you are in darkness. तुमको अभी लाइट में आना होगा. अरे भोसड़ी क्या आ लाइट में आ अभी आना होगा. That's the mindset. That's always the conversion mindset that Westerners and descendants of the Abrahamic mindset that people have. True, conservatives in India are leftists because the establishment is totally leftist and they want to preserve that. We are not proper conservatives. Yes, we are not conserving because it's the leftists in India who are saying that this is not the India I grew up in, which means they want to conserve what already is. I think, but J.Sai Deepak in that very interview made a great distinction. He said that no, not in that interview. He did one Hindi interview with the journalist of Dainik Jagran. There he was saying that the liberals, the Congress establishment, they are talking about Navanirman of Bharat. We are talking about Punarnirman of Bharat. That might be a cool slogan, but there is some depth to it. That's a great distinction to have. Okay, we are not proper conservatives. Yes. I think also because right wing in India includes many atheists, aka political Hindus who are susceptible to reform tendencies. Is there? Because then you have to make the distinction that you are an economic right winger. तो क्या हुआ? Fiscal conservative और cultural conservative दोनों different है. Fiscal conservative means I won't spend everything. I see a problem, throw a bundle of money at it immediately. That's not what we are going to do. We are going to spend less and see that that the market and the people, the consumers and the creators find a solution for themselves. Because if I plan to give you a solution as a government, I'm going to charge you twice for that. I'm going to charge the society twice for that same service because I'm going to create an administrative system for that. उसका accounting होगा, उसका administrators होगा, उसमें एम्प्लॉयज़ होंगे जिनका नौकरी कभी नहीं जाएगा ज़िंदगी में, जो तुमको बोलेंगे 12 बजे के बाद आओ, 2 बजे के बाद आओ. उनका सैलरी, उनका हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, उनका रिटायरमेंट बेनिफिट आएगा क्योंकि तुमने बोला कि तुमको फ्री चीज़ चाहिए. तो आई एम गोइंग टू बी अ फिजिकल कंजर्वेटिव. सो जस्ट स्पेसिफाई दैट यू आर एन इकोनॉमिक राइट विंगर, यू आर अ फिजिकल राइट विंगर और अ फिजिकल कंजर्वेटिव. व्हाट्स द प्रॉब्लम? I think also because, right, okay. Exactly, JSG supports all Hindu right positions, not economic right. Indic wing is to deflect left-wing backlash, but that doesn't work, lol. Yeah, it doesn't work with leftists. Leftists will never accept that. Yeah, ये तो हिंदू फैशिस्ट हो रहा है, ये तो राइट विंग फैशिस्ट है. नाम इंडिक विंग दे दिया तो क्या हो गया? So you have to embrace that connotation. That yeah, you assign whatever connotation you want. I'm going to hold my position. But all the big leftists are rich people. Yes, of course. No matter the poorest of the poor countries, okay, every poor country's top leaders, kings or top warlords, all of their children study in England, France, Sweden or USA only forever. Equality is only for the rest of them. Everyone will be equally poor. No one can have, the entire country cannot have equal amounts of Teslas. Everyone from rich to poor, everyone has one Tesla. That's not going to happen. So this idea that Douglas Murray got very wrong while talking to Vivek Ramaswamy on Vivek's podcast, because the previous day they went to a live event. I'm not talking about that one. Douglas Murray came to Vivek's podcast and said that while bringing up caste system, he said that I visit different places and you can say that different places have different pros and cons. They are good and beautiful in their own way, but they're specifically not exactly West. I'm a bit confused about Russia, but I went to Tokyo. It's a great place to be, great place to live in, but it's not exactly the West. You can see some distinction. Then I went to India. I wonder who called Douglas Murray in India. It would be fascinating to see him talk, but he said that I went to India, I saw the sad state of affairs, the disastrous caste system, and where you are not even equal in the eyes of God, which we have in the West. And that is their source. That is the patient zero idea, okay? That is the source of the Marxist idea, that equality, complete equality is even desirable. Then you create Marxism because of that, and then keep on complaining that no, see, our God says equality in the eyes of all, but there is no equality in the society. You are starting with a contradiction. Whereas In the caste system, we are saying that I don't care about equality or inequality. If you think reading the Vedas is objectively more important and more respectable, then try doing that. But what we have is whatever job you are doing, that is great and important. We are not going to sell you this bullshit idea of equality, because everyone has to do some job or the other. All job is not going to be equally important forever. What is your contribution? How important your contribution is depends on how replaceable you are. That's the simplest thing. And even the farthest left commies who work in the freelance or self-employed sector know this. Okay. You have to become irreplaceable. That is the goal in any job. And if you do a job which can be done by right now 50 people on the road, then you are always going to be poorer than someone whose job can be done by 40 people. And then he is going to be poorer than someone whose job can be done by 30 people on the road. That way. So we are not selling you a snake oil called equality. And so if you think that God does not see all humans equally, fair enough. We don't give a shit. Okay. Let's see some more comments. Language politics in Bengal seems interesting. Yes. Do you think atheists can be Hindu? Atheists meaning anti-religious people. No, anti-religious people can't be Hindu. But Charvakas are Hindu. Then it's okay. Honor among thieves, communism. একদিন দাস ক্যাপিটাল পড়ে ক্রিটিসাইজ করতে পারো। দাস ক্যাপিটালের তো ভাষা এখানে লোককে বোঝাতে গিয়েই তো 6 ঘন্টা লেগে যাবে। তো ফালতু ওরকম এটাকে স্যার রজার স্ক্রুটন and Douglas Murray calls that those kind of writing styles there's a funny word they use. I forgot. That it's all gibberish, hocus pocus. I was reading a book by Sir Roger Scruton, and there they even quoted Gayatri Chakraborty Spivak, who wrote that famous book that does the subaltern speak. अब हमारा तो subaltern प्रधानमंत्री बन गया, उसको भी पसंद नहीं है. But he gave out a quote from out of her book, and it's a pure gibberish, made up words, made up concepts. Okay, Saptarshi is saying কিন্তু জানো তো দাদা সিঙ্গাপুর সোশ্যালিস্ট দেশ হওয়া সত্ত্বেও কত বড় লোক। হ্যাঁ, বাংলা তো সোশ্যালিস্ট খেলে না, ওটা নামে সোশ্যালিস্ট রয়ে গেছে। সোশ্যালিস্ট ডিক্টেটরশিপ যে বলে দিয়েছে ক্যাপিটালিজমকে কাজে লাগাতে হবে। Okay, but that's what all the commies want, right? I think they secretly want to kill all the poor. And their idea is that poor people are inherently assholes, which is why they say that, no, terrorism is not the problem. It's because we have poverty. It's because those Muslims are not millionaires. That's why they are creating all these ruckus. So they inherently they are saying that गरीब है तो वो हरामी आदमी है. Okay, secretly want to kill all the poor. Here to learn, Das Kapital is a giant book which has been repeatedly refuted, therefore not required. Why real Das Kapital when I can read Western classical music? Adhikari bhai AIM এটা নিয়ে বলেছে যে বাকি কান্ট্রিজ এর ভয় ওরা নিজেদের বলছে সোশ্যালিস্ট. Unless your formal economy starts operating in Indian languages, the language issue will remain. Why do these language warriors protest against Wipro, HCL, Deloitte, etc. for not using Bengali content? They don't, because they use English, which is also the Shashi Tharoor argument that if you, in case of Hindi, some people know Hindi because of movies, some people don't know Hindi, which is in Northeast or in Southern India. But if you start from English, it's equally difficult for everyone in the country. So therefore English is a preferred choice. Okay, instead of just using English in Kolkata branch, yes. Language politics in Bengali is a joke. They are kids that cannot even read Bengali because they study in English medium school. Yes, Matir Bhare Cha. Hindutva is somehow made out to be not subaltern when 99% of the people don't know anything about it. Yes. This reminds me that Rajoshi Nandi has been using this phrase sarcastically in multiple podcasts, and I find it really hilarious and absolutely fantastic. He's saying that वो गीता का 3-4 लाइन पढ़ के सब लोग बोलते फिर रहे कि अच्छा हिंदुइज्म ये है, हिंदुइज्म लिबरल है, हिंदुइज्म रिग्रेसिव है. खुद का जो वैल्यू सिस्टम है बेस्ड ऑन अदर इंस्पिरेशंस एंड इन्फ्लुएंसेस, उसके बेसिस पे हिंदुइज्म ये है, हिंदुइज्म वो है बोलते फिर रहा है, मगर प्राइमरी सोर्स किसी ने नहीं पढ़ा है. अच्छा हिंदुइज्म होगा लिबरल, तुम पढ़ के बोल रहे हो कि 4 कोट्स पढ़ के बोल रहे हो? अच्छा हिंदुइज्म शायद है रिग्रेसिव, तुम पढ़ के बोल रहे हो कि किसी ने बोला है, या फिर यहाँ वहाँ पे 3-4 कोट्स पढ़ लिया इसलिए बोल रहे हो? पूरा का पूरा प्राइमरी सोर्स पढ़ो, बहुत सारे प्राइमरी सोर्स पढ़ो, उसके बाद कंक्लूजन ड्रॉ करो. Which reminds me that only yesterday I thought that, okay, I think I need to start reading the Dharma Shastras as well. Which I have these 3 history of Indian philosophy books, which I'm going to start after Brahma Purana. So after looking into the Dharma Shastras, I realized that I think late 1800s and early 1900s were a great sort of a renaissance in looking back at our past, maybe using those ideals and wisdom as a way to fight the British. Or maybe they gave up that British are never going to go away, but these guys are translating so much, so let's just read them and translate some more on our own as well. So this history of Indian philosophy was translated, it was started in 1922. It was initially a 5-volume book in which 2 were not as big, so this new publisher made it a thick 3-volume set. Now, in 1932, a Marathi scholar who got the Bharat Ratna from Dr. Rajendra Prasad, his name is Dr. P.V. Kane. He starts out to write a random sort of a small essay or gist on the Nyaya Shastras or dharmic laws of the country, okay, in our ancient past. So he begins the research for that, and then he sees that, imagine research ke liye he starts reading 2 books. In those 2 primary sources, there are different quotations and referrals to other 2-3 books. So he thinks that let's be thorough about it. Let's read those 2-3 books as well. Okay, so in those 2-3 books, he reads references to 3-4 more books. And after reading so much, because every book he reads, starts reading, ends up referring to some more ancient texts, he decides that no, I'm not going to write that small book. I am going to write history of Dharma Shastras. And then he sets out on a massive journey. He unearths and discovers, finds every Sanskrit ancient manuscript he can find. He was absolutely fluent in Sanskrit. He was an absolute Sanskritist. And then he writes a 5-volume history of Dharma Shastras, which is basically an 8-book collection. Okay, why 5 volumes and 8 books? Because 2 out of those 5 volumes are so big that उसमें भी part 1 part 2 है. Volume 5 का part 1 part 2 है and एक और volume का part 1 part 2 है. And I want to buy that collection, and when I get some more revenue from YouTube, I'll buy that, and that will be completely discussed on live streams. So great times are ahead for us, because we are going to know about Hinduism in the first place properly, and then we are going to draw conclusions. So the Dharma Shastras, 2 of those 8 books are about this big. If you throw it at someone, they're dead. And they cost 15,000 rupees. So I'm going to raise 15,000 rupees from my YouTube revenue someday and then going to buy it. And guess the page count. Those 8 books are 6,500 pages long total, okay? So as Rajarshi Nandi says, that Hinduism is a religion of a library or many libraries. So that is so apt here, because history of Indian philosophy, these 3 giant books, or history of Dharma Shastras, 6,500 pages, those are not primary texts even. Here we are not reading any primary text. In those 6,500 pages, we are not going to read any primary sources. उसका gist बनाने में ही 6,500 पेज लग गए. So can you understand how much there is to read? How much there is to read? ऐसा क्या चीज है जिसका कॉन्साइज जिस्ट छोटा करके बनाने में है 6,500 पेज लग जाते हैं, और लोग मुझे बोल रहे हैं कि ये प्राइमरी सोर्स डिस्कस करके क्या होगा, मेक बॉइल डाउन 5 पॉइंट्स व्हाई ब्रह्म पुराण इज ऑसम. अरे क्या होगा वो करके? So many things will be missed out, and we will come up with our own random bullshit conclusions about Hinduism. No, I don't want that. So 6,500 pages of a concise gist. So imagine how many pages of primary sources Dr. P.V. Kane read. Can you believe it? What an amazing, glorious thing. Okay, let me check some comments. Okay, someone is asking. Okay, Saptarshi is asking, have I read Nyaya Shastra or not? No, I came to know that there is something called Nyaya Shastra only in 2022. 10,000 টাকাটা দেখেছি. Where? On Amazon. Send link. Okay, I have only seen the 15,000 rupees. Okay, let me check some comments again. But corporations in respective states should use respective state languages, not just Hindi. Language policy কিরম হওয়া উচিত হিন্দু রাষ্ট্রে? ওই যে 25 বছর, okay, he is asking in Bengali, I'm forgetting, sorry. So he's asking what should be the language policy in a Hindu Rashtra, in a Hindu Rajya, so to speak. My policy is absolutely clear on this, and it's absolutely doable. It's not an ambiguous, impossible policy. Set a 25-year time frame, make Sanskrit compulsory for kids who are starting out in school. The moment they start learning any language, English or Bengali or Hindi, make them learn Sanskrit as well. And we have plenty of Sanskrit masters people, graduation people who are going to become those tutors for those kids. And by the time they pass out of school and then they get into college, they are going to be absolutely fluent in Sanskrit. There's no going to be ambiguous concepts like, is this a cup in Sanskrit? No, it's a horse in Sanskrit. No, it's supposed to be a cloud in Sanskrit. No ambiguity of those sorts will be there. After 25 years, make Sanskrit the official language of the entire country, because everyone by then is going to be fluent in Sanskrit. It can't be done right now, obviously, because no one knows Sanskrit. I mean, most 90% of the country doesn't know Sanskrit. And 99% of commies think they know Sanskrit, but obviously they also don't know. Okay. Charvaka is an empirical tradition, explicitly rejects all Vedic and Brahminical authority as nonsensical and superstitious. Can they still be called Hindus? Yes, because cultural Hindus. Because Hinduism is a way of life, because it's, among other things, it's also a way of life. History of Dharma Shastras. Yes, P.V. Kane. Also, how does using English help Bengali language, for example? If it doesn't, then this hostility against Hindi is just an ego battle. Of course it is. It's not just an ego battle against Hindi. It's also an overcompensation. It's a venting out of frustrations for the shambles of that the state of Bengal's economy is in. It's a 5-volume giant. Yes, 5-volume and 8 books. Anushka, Charvaka's position is similar to Jains and Buddhists. We can call them Hindus or not based on the context we are talking about. Yeah. In the specific religious and ritualistic context, of course, they are not Hindus. But in the cultural context, they are Hindus. Mahopadhyaya P.V. Kane. যদি বাঙালি তামিল কাপলের সনাতন আর মারাঠি পাঞ্জাবি কাপলের সন্তান বিয়ে করলো, তাহলে তারা কোন ভাষায় কথা বলবে? এক্সোগামি ভালো লেভেলে হলে রিজনাল ভাষা কমে যাবে. Yes, at the moment they will speak in Hindi and English only. And maybe if they love each other enough, they will try to learn the languages of their partners as well. But in my policy, both of them will speak in Sanskrit. Okay. To learn Sanskrit, guys, please talk in English, because the non-Bengalis are also here. If I read your question in Bengali, then I'll have to translate. Sanskrit ke jatiyo bhasha anujai pradhanya dewa uchit. Yes, in 25 years. Hindi speaking people don't even speak actual Hindi. They speak a mix of Urdu and English. Yes, but Urdu English imposition is not that catchy to say. Yes. Okay. There was a person called Alan Watts, a padre who became the drinking philosopher, a master of Zen Buddhism after studying Eastern philosophy. His understanding of Hinduism really hits the point. I see. Alan Watts, awesome. Boimarat, I see. Okay. Anyone know of good translation of Sarvadarshan Samagraha? No. I don't agree with people who talk about Hindi imposition but not English imposition. Yes. Sanskrit FDW. Why don't you download the PDF for free? The Dharmashastra PDF. 2 reasons. First is the PDF is entirely available on Internet Archives, but it's not a real, not digitization. Okay. Someone has taken a photograph of all the pages and put them up on the on the Internet Archive. So it's going to be an absolutely annoying and frustrating procedure of reading, okay? And I can't sustain that much of annoyance for 6,500 pages. Every line is blurred. Somewhere the photograph has not come up clearly, etc. And secondly, I'm not going to read only in the live stream, right? I'm going to sometimes read in my free time as well. And in free time, I don't like to read from the computer, because my computer is so powerful, because it's made for music production. No, it's a heavily electric consuming system. So for that, for reading just a book, I can't keep my entire computer open. Okay. Let's see. God dank, I have its translation done by Chaukhamba, the best translation. Charvakas also follow Dharma without divinity. Can you tell me a link where I can buy it either in English or Hindi? Dharma Shastra, History of Dharma Shastra. I have seen it on Amazon only. And in archive, it's for free, yes. Ideas originating in Bharat has to be automatically Hindu. Charvaka don't believe in Atma, Karma, Bandhan, Jarmantar and importance of Karma Kanda. They reject 6 Praman and accept only Pratyaksha. Yes, that's why. Because they accept Pratyaksha. And because, as I think Neenar said, that then you'll have to say that Hindus are also not at all not Hindus, Jains are not Hindus, Ajivikas were not Hindus. So Hinduism is many things, and among those things, one is just the cultural and lifestyle choices side of it. So in that context, they are Hindu. Rishi, is it, and especially because Hindu was meant to be describing the people of these places, right? So the people of these places were the pre-Abrahamic people who were having these discussions among themselves, and all of whom were fluent in Sanskrit. So all of them are Hindu in that sense. Rishi, is it by Madhavacharya? দাদা তুমি কাল কি বিনয় সরকারের পেপারটা ডিসকাস করতে পারবে? I'm not sure. Maybe I'll try. Sanskrit should at least be used in law, humanities, sciences. Commerce can be in local languages. Yeah. JSD in one podcast said Charvakas aren't Hindus, lol. And even Rajarshi Nandi is of the same opinion, but that's true in the religious, purely worship, divinity and worshipping sense, prayer sense, ritual sense, but that's not the entirety of Hinduism. Sanjay Dixit and JSD don't accept Charvaka as Hindu. Yeah, even Rajarshi Nandi. Yes, Madhava Vidyaranya guided his student to write this. Write what? The history of Dharma Shastras or the other book that you mentioned? Okay, now we'll get back to Brahma Purana. Nice discussion. Oh. Okay, Balarama's return to Gokula. Vyasa said, the intelligent Muchukunda praised him in this way. Hari is the Lord of all beings and has no beginning and no end. He spoke. Shri Krishna said, O Lord of men, go to the divine worlds that you desire. Through my favors, your supreme prosperity will increase and will be unimpeded. You will enjoy divine and great objects of pleasure. After this, you will take birth in a great lineage. However, through my favors, you will remember your past lives and will obtain emancipation. End quote. Thus addressed, the king prostrated himself before Achyuta, the Lord of the universe. He emerged through the mouth of the cave and saw that men were short. The king realized that Kali Yuga was imminent. To torment himself in austerity, he went to Nara and Narayana's place in Gandhamadana. Having slain the enemy, Krishna seized his forces, resplendent with elephants, horses and chariots, and arrived in Mathura. Having brought them to Dwaravati, he offered them to Ugrasena. The Yadus became strong and no longer worried about being defeated. O Indras among Brahmanas, now that all conflicts had been pacified, Baladeva was eager to meet his kin and went to Nanda's Gokula. As was the case earlier, the victor over enemies showed a great deal of respect and spoke affectionately to the Gopas and Gopis. He embraced some and in return was embraced by some. He laughed with some Gopas and Gopis who were his equals. The Gopas addressed the wielder of the plough in many pleasant words. Some Gopis were delighted and full of affection, but there were others who were full of envy. The Gopis asked, Is Krishna, who loves the women of the city, happy? Love must have made him agitated. He laughs at our efforts, but never at those of the women of the city. He makes them possess greater fortune, while affection towards us is of short duration. Does Krishna remember that we followed him and sang with him? Will he come here at least once to see his mother? What is the point of conversing in this way? Let us talk about other things. He will exist without us and we will have to exist without him. For his sake, we abandon our fathers, mothers, brothers, husbands and relatives, but he is ungrateful. Nevertheless, does Krishna ever speak about coming here? Your words are like Amrita. Damodara Govinda's mind is attached to the women of the city. It is evident that we will find it extremely difficult to see him. End quote. With their minds attached to Hari, in melodious voices, they invited him and repeatedly addressed him as Krishna and Damodara. Krishna had delivered a message in extremely sweet voice, and it was full of deep love, devoid of pride. Comforting the gopis, Rama delivered this in a sweet and amiable voice. The minds of the Gopas were also attached to Hari. As used to be the case earlier, Rama laughed with them and conversed with all the residents of Vraja. Hello guys, Rashti is here. Anand Ranganathan has essentially been Charvaka mostly. Yeah. Not talking about God. Okay, important comments. Yeah, I'll just check these comments. Sarva Darshana Sangraha. Okay. Madhava Vidyaranya guided his student. Okay. Anushka, and he is correct since he and many others are trying to find a concise in group and out group. Yeah, out group के लिए बहुत अलग लोग हैं, इनको out group नहीं बनाना है. I saw one video of JSD a few days back where they said specifically that believing in God is not criteria for being Hindu. It was in discussion about atheists, I think. Yeah, they gave the example of Anand Ranganathan sir being Hindu despite not believing strictly in God. Yeah, and notice one thing. So at the moment, I might not be doing any rituals in my daily life, right? I might not believe in any Hindu god as they are meant to be at the moment, or at least I wasn't until a few months back. But about 1.5 years to 2 years back, I started reading these primary sources, and not to refute them, I did not go there with an axe to grind. I started reading them simply because of a certain amount of respect that, okay, since Sanjeev Sanyal's book has now informed me that you do have something to be proud of in your history, you did have great kings in your past, therefore, what else was great about that past? Let me just check the scriptures and in primary sources. That was the mindset I was starting out reading these books with, right? So, in that case, what should I be called? Should I be called not Hindu? So, I was reading these things just to find out, just out of curiosity, and to find out what exactly what they're talking about, and even in just a material sense as well, that I just want to see what they have written. And if I do get some wisdom out of that, fair enough. That's an added benefit. But what should I be called in that case? Who is accessing these texts with that kind of a mindset? Am I not a Hindu in that sense? In that case then. It was a discussion in atheists. Okay. Okay. While living in Bhagyanagar, came across people from an organization with name Charvaka Ashram always abusing us and supporting those who are our enemies. Therefore, in concur with RJD, Rajarshi, Pankajji. That's a problem. If they are abusing you directly, then see, abuse is immediately an outgroup. If someone abuses you, immediately that's your outgroup. Then Hindu, non-Hindu, Charvaka, Bhosri wala, कुछ नाम जरूरत ही नहीं है. Abuse है तो तुमको abuse वापस करना है. End of story. But then we have to get into the idea that whether all Charvakas are like that. Hashtag not all Charvakas. Because Kushal Mehra would not subscribe to this idea, right? Okay. Anand Ranganathan, कहाँ गया? अरे, wait. The scroll is very weird in live stream. Yeah, Anand Ranganathan has essentially been Charvaka mostly, yes. Not talking about God, but the concept of Dharma is the qualifying criteria. Without Karma Bandhan, how Dharma remain? Dharma will remain not because of Charvakas, but because of the believers. Neener, we respect and believe in Vedas and other Shastras, which is, in which case GSD is correct. I think most people realize that Charvaka were mostly strident and hostile towards Hindu deities that present day Hindus think they were. Anand Ranga is a Darwinian atheist. As of Sanjay Dikshit, I think people like JSD, Anand Ranganathan, Vikram Sampath are doing way more than Jaipur dialogues. Yeah, but the demand kind of was created to a large extent by Sanjay Dikshit himself. Kamsa is said to have conquered heavens and Pandu doing Digvijaya. How did they not face off each other? RSB, don't judge him because of present. Original Charvakas were actually lunatics as far as I have read. Kushal Mehra, etc. are neo Charvakas who are different. Yeah. Hard to say since all we know about Charvaka is from the criticisms and response to them by other Sampradayas. Yeah, that is the same problem with Druids as well. Druids did not write much about themselves. Everything written about Druids is by Julius Caesar, who conquered those people, Gauls. Here to learn, they were in India, dude. If Hinduism talks about focusing on the inner self, rejecting that makes no sense, right? Yes, but rejecting... and that is the biggest Kushal Mehra Charvaka, Neo Charvaka argument, that focus on yourself, individuality. And focusing on yourself is to a large extent what Hinduism talks about. You, your family, your ancestry, your lineage, your connection with God. Why is archaeological proof not considered by leftoids when they start dating Hindu Dharma age? That is the Bhagwan Pashupati and other Devta artifacts in 9,500-year-old city of Virana, Haryana. Okay, yeah, in that case, their argument is that those were pre-Nordic local cults, okay. They were not really Sanatan Dharma or the Veda following or Hindu idea following people. Therefore, they are not in the same lineage as Hinduism that we understand today. Therefore Hindu Dharma is not 9,500 years old. When Yudhishthir is made king after the war in Mahabharata, a Charvaka enters the palace along with Brahmanas. The Charvaka is described as a Rakshasa, a demon, and wicked white, desirous of evil. How are Charvaka, who are full-on materialists, they are not spiritual, against Vedic, Bauddha, Jaina, not just not following, but very much against? How Charvaka are not atheist? Because a case could be made that being against something inherently does not mean hating or actively pursuing to end that thing. Okay, you can be against many things. You may be against buying guns, but do you go ahead and ask people who do have guns to say that give up your guns? There's the difference. So that's what I'm saying, that if someone does abuse you because they are Charvaka and you are not, that's the end of story. Then they are out group. But if they don't do that, if they think that no, I'm Charvaka in my own life, you be a Shaiva in your own life, end of story, then there's no problem. When JSD is talking about atheists, he was talking about neo-atheists and woke-toids. But Charvakas were represented with their positions correctly. I'm not convinced JSD has really played a remarkable role, love it or hate it, but it can't be denied. Just remember that it's a platform which gives chance to all types of people within the Hindu fold. Charvakas were basically wokes of ancient times. Okay, probably. Yeah, seems like it. I'll tell you why. You are saying Sanjay Dikshit, Jaipur Dialogues. I thought J. Sai Deepak. No, I disagree. Even in my initial years of respecting India and Indian culture, I got huge knowledge about Indian history from Sanjay Dikshit in the first place. But most of all, in terms of critiquing Muslims or Islamic past, most has been done, other than Sitaram Goel in the except written word, most has been done in the online world by Sanjay Dikshit only. Even Vikram Sampath, J. Sai Deepak came after Jaipur Dialogues. Okay. And when I was reading Venkat Dhulipala's book, of course you can argue that those books were written as an inspiration. I mean, I'm talking about India Bharat Pakistan. When I read India Bharat Pakistan and Venkat Dhulipala's book New Medina, I haven't read that book. Of course, I read the initial paper, which turned out to be a book later on, Venkat Dhulipala's case and India Bharat Pakistan. But I knew a lot of these things already by reading Unbreaking India, Sanjay Dikshit's book, which is basically an entire gist of how India's partition happened and who were the culprits, etc. That's why our texts call them lunatics quite often. Yes, according to commies, conception of deities come after sculpture of deities. Charvakas did attempt to desecrate Vedic deities. I see. I did not know these things. I thought Charvakas are basically Kushal Mehra types, libertarian things. If they're actively out to get you, then it's a problem. Exactly. This is where the mentality of United States of India, they were localized cults, really. Yeah. United Cults of India. In agreed. But currently, instead of assessing and doing proper analysis, Sanjay Dikshit has just been reacting. Yeah, थोड़ा contents में कमी तो है, because most things that he can speak on, most things he's an expert on, he has already made countless videos on that. So how many things is he going to bring up new? जो बोलना था वो already बोल चुके हैं, वो हम सीख भी लिए हैं, हम मान भी लिए हैं. अब हर रोज content कैसे बनाए? That is the problem. Content creators will always say no. That is what I was really impressed with Ranveer Allahabadia for. He said that in his podcast with Smita Prakash that he's going to do this probably for 5 years at max. उसके बाद कुछ और ही करना होगा. ये सेम चीज़ बार बार सेम आदमी को बुला के बोलो इसमें क्या सोचते हो तुम, ये बोल के कंटेंट नहीं चलेगा. एंड दैट इज़ अ प्रॉब्लम इवन जो रोगन इज फेसिंग. Ever since the Spotify deal, you can see a stark difference in his demeanor and even in his tone. He seems almost drunk. He seems tired. It's not the same exciting, curious Joe Rogan anymore. One reason might be that he has had enough of this shit. And second might be that it now feels like a job to him. But now he's riding the tiger now. He can't get out of it. He has to do it now. He has taken about $200 million from Spotify. What can he do? That's the unsustainable problem that content creators will always face. We need to understand that most of our historical record is being destroyed. Yes. No. Jaipur Dialogues has given amazing discussions and revived confidence. Yeah. Without Jaipur Dialogue, I would not know about Islam what I do know now. originating in India is not always enough to be good for India. For me, an idea to be Bharat origin is not enough to be Hindu. Yeah. Only Bharat origin hua to tab to every Indian commie is also Hindu. I'm not saying that. It's not enough to be Hindu. Having some form of idea of Dharma makes an idea Hindu. If the things you all are saying about Charvakas is true, then to it's a problem. Anushka, yes. He's more focused on election, but it seems with the last week videos, Jaipur dialogue is back into fold. You won't see anyone who understands and counters Islam and leftists as much as him. Jaisai Deepak is good, but his perspective is more about understanding ourselves, less about attacking the enemy. Yeah. If we can trace ourselves from India forever, who are the Adivasis then? Someone or the other might have been Adivasis, because that's the timeline I forgot to discuss during our Bengali live stream day, that Bengali guy Anirban Das was saying that these Australoids who came to India from Southeast Asia, possibly, are about 42,000 years ago. They are possibly the first Indians in the eastern part of India, or even most of India, which might not be the case. First of all, a lot of people from here might have gone there, because Australian Aborigines are also Australoids, I think. And Sanjeev Sanyal has brought out evidence in his book Ocean of Churn that about 4,000 years back, these people are descendants of people who went away from the Bengal and Odisha region only. They went and settled in New Zealand and Australia, and who are now called Aborigines of those places, which is why they have that vicious wild dog called dingo, which looks like a cute stray puppy of India. Okay. But people from in the Australoid school of thought will say that no, that's because the dingo was originally there. Some people came from there and maybe brought the dingo here and tamed it here. That's why it became a cute stray puppy here. But again, that's the equal. It's equally divided almost, those two sides of history, which is why there's no complete consensus on these things, and we can't use these things as a weapon to beat someone with. But if someone does beat you up with these arguments, then you have to counter these and say that no, sab to yahi se gaye the dingo leke. But anyway, it's the same argument with that everyone came to India, no one went outside India, and everyone brought everything to India. But the thing that I forgot to mention in that live stream was that even if you are saying that Australoids came here 42,000 years ago, 42,000 years ago, Bhimbetka caves in Madhya Pradesh, those paintings were drawn 1 lakh years ago. Yeah. As far as I remember. 1 lakh years ago, I think. So where are those people? Didn't the descendants of those people come and settle all over India or even in Bengal? So it's not that only Australoids came, because we don't have any genetic evidence of the Bhimbetka people. तो उसका मतलब है नहीं है, उसका descendant नहीं है, गायब हो गया. So who are the people living in the Bhimbetka? Yeah, उसका तो कोई skeleton वेलेटन नहीं मिला, तो उसका भी blood हमारे Indians में बहुत से races में होगा. Okay, let me check some other comments. बहुत से comments आ गया. Okay, maybe we can't do Brahma Purana anymore today. Let's see some comments. Heard the secular azan of ex-Muslim Sahil. It's brilliant. No, but did you all see the insane song that someone did in Trinamool's public meeting? They interchanged some Ma Durga Stotram with the azan. That was something. And repeatedly. Okay. JD has done great on culture revival part, but his political part has been quite weak. Why? Mutual respect, reciprocity, pluralism should be basic criteria to be a Hindu. This is a great argument. This is where you can draw the line. You want your non-negotiables, you want your in-group, out-group, agree to this. This is a great thing. If there is a Charvaka who is not giving you mutual respect, end of story. Okay? Mutual respect is a great non-negotiable to have. But that doesn't mean that now Christians are also Hindu because if they have mutual respect for you. No. All the other historical contexts and also mutual respect, then you are Hindu. Sentinelese are the oldest group. Yeah. But still his channel is blocked. Whose channel? Oh, Sahil. What do you think? Is this ex-Muslim movement actually effective, or is it just hype? I will consider it a successful movement only if they convert to Hinduism. At least ex-Muslims of India. If they become ex-Muslims and become fucking commies, then it's no benefit to us. So I don't care. Then they will start saying that, see, we are so great because we are atheists. Now, because atheism feels like a personal achievement. No, see, मैंने कितना बड़ा झंडा गाड़ दिया कि मैंने भगवान से विश्वास उठा लिया. See, I'm so awesome. तो हिंदुस तो हर घर में करते हैं ये सब. बंगाल में हर घर में ये चलता है. So, and then they say that, see, therefore religion itself is bad, all religions are bad, and now we need to increase taxes to encourage global good welfare. So if ex-Muslims start doing that same crap, then it's of no benefit to anyone in India. Yes, JD attacks the doctrine. Jaisai Deepak attacks mostly the practices and focuses more on Shatrubodh and Atmabodh. Yeah. The dumb leftoids that deny archaeological proofs despite Shivalingam in front of their eyes just makes me despise them even more. Yes. I am not at all convinced. अरे ये scroll करने से पूरा ऊपर उठ जा रहा है. एक मिनट. Sorry, wait. I am not at all convinced they are going to break out such strong cultural grounding and make all Muslim ex-Muslim. Yeah, who are the people living in Bhimghat? Yeah. Sanjay Dixit had critiqued Jordan Peterson's podcast with Vishal Mangalwadi quite well. Vishal Mangalwadi was the converted Christian guy, right? Yeah, that was some load of crap. But it's a great narrative, really, really great. Yeah. And Jordan Peterson seems to be consciously doing it now because he has called people of all religions. He has called even an Indian Christian, but he will not call any devout or expert on Hindu studies at all to discuss any Hindu ideas. This seems pretty strange to me and pretty disappointing to me. Yes, and the conception of lingam, its shape, everything is in our texts, and any rationalist knows conception comes before sculpture, not vice versa. I don't think so. Marxists will argue it's not the case. They will say that that was made as a penis, and उसके बाद में उसका philosophization हो गया और scripture लिखा गया. In its more of a hype, the kind of people I see comments show that ex-Muslim thing is more of a trend. Okay. That's the TMC song that I'm talking about. I see. Oh my god. Oh. Put that link in the comment section, okay, and tell everyone to see it. I'll pin that. Ex-Muslim movement has got kind of a cult following only among non-Muslims. Anushka Tyagi, yes. They had Sri Guru Rohit Arya in that video, who is a close friend of Rajesh Nandi and has some brilliant insight in spirituality in his channel Rohit Arya. Nope, they know too well about the Nexus Panchmakkars. Guru Rohit Arya ji. Christians cannot be Hindu because they are identifying with a doctrine which does have mutual respect, reciprocity, etc. That Adam Seeker guy is trying to promote Christianity through ex-Muslim movement. Ex-Muslim Samir has busted him, and yet Hindus follow Adam. Lol says a lot why we've been in slavery for centuries. Jordan Peterson didn't even know about Islamic invasions of India. He came to know about it through an Indian missionary. I don't blame any Westerner for not knowing Indian history, because I myself did not know any Indian history before 2021 October. So in that case, I'm going to be fair to Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, these people. But my problem is that if you are going to talk about the idea of God, religion, spirituality, meaning so much, and you're going to take the opinions of all sorts of religions, then why not the oldest surviving one? Then that's very unfair and very unfortunate, very disappointing, very surprising. I don't expect him to know how awesome Chanakya was, but I expect him to have a conversation with someone claiming to be a devout Hindu and saying and making the best case for Hinduism. Steel Manning, जिसे बोलते हैं. He came to know about it. Okay, but they have to prove that conception of a shape is after the sculpture. John Pearson turned Asian supremacist. Do you think Republicans will go with a Trump-Vivek duo in 2024? I don't think Vivek will go with a Trump-Vivek duo in 2024. He is saying that he doesn't function great in a vice president role, which I agree with. I think a lot of Republicans who want to vote for Vivek but can't really let go of Trump, they have brought up some better suggestions. A lot of them are saying that Vivek Ramaswamy would be better as a chief of staff, White House chief of staff, press secretary, okay, or a head of the financial department. Those posts will be much better for Vivek than a vice president role. वाइस प्रेसिडेंट का एक ही काम है, play the good cop bad cop. If in any situation president tries to bully someone, the vice president goes there and says some sweet things, and the vice versa. That's the job of a vice president, nothing more than that. And otherwise, if his only job is to go around and telling people that see the president is doing such a great job, or where the president is invited but the president can't make it because that place is maybe not that important, वहाँ vice president को भेज देगा. उससे ज़्यादा vice president का कोई कर्तव्य नहीं है. That's the problem. That's why I don't think Vivek should be vice president at all, because he's insanely intelligent. He has brilliant solutions for problems that people don't even know about. 99% of people in India at least don't know these problems. Anyone who tells me that what's the point of following Vivek has no idea what they're talking about. You have no clue how much trouble India is going to face in the near future because of the problems Vivek is pointing out, in which India is completely oblivious about. Okay, World Economic Forum, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, etc. So every Indian, every patriotic Indian must read Vivek Ramaswamy's 3 books as soon as possible. But anyway, so a person like that is going to be an absolute waste of talent in a vice president position. Okay. Yeah, Trump will collude with the aliens. Again, without evidence of lingam in other cultures, not penis, should be provided. Yeah. Apparently, JP's video title was initially Biblical Foundations of India. It had to be changed after backlash. Muhammad Hijab has made a video on Hindutva, and Ali Dawa has too. Yeah, all of them are doing it. But the best part about the Canadian and British Muslims complaining about Indian Hindutva is sort of a satisfaction to me, because now they are saying that why are these Hindus being so aggressive? Why don't you just live and let live? So we are doing the right thing. If they are saying that live and let live, bro, Muslims are libertarians all of a sudden. So we are on the right track. Okay, Rishi, that is why I despise Marxism and all those who follow it. Rishi, okay. People don't like Hindus, so we have to depend on ourselves. Yes. JP seems either to be very uninterested about India, or he fears that too much exposure of Hinduism will negatively affect his missionary role. RSB, brilliant deduction. You are absolutely right in the second point, not on the first point. In the first point also you are right. Basically both of your points are right. It's not or, it's basically and. He is uninterested about India. Why should he care about India randomly? But it's mostly that his viewership might be spooked, and especially because it might not be even his personal vision. It might be a Daily Wire idea as well, because Daily Wire is entirely he's an employee of Daily Wire, isn't it? So in that case, I don't think completely propagating Hindu religious views on his channel would be great for their audience base. That would be a problem. They might lose some subscribers for those next 2-3 weeks until Jordan Peterson says something really cool, or someone might cancel their subscription because staunch devout Christians and Catholics, evangelicals, Jews even view and subscribe their channels, right? So a lot of people will end up saying that I've had enough with these people, and they might have some prior grievances with these people as well, and bringing on a devout Hindu might be the straw that broke the camel's back, and they will say that no, now I'm done with Daily Wire and I'm unsubscribing, I'm cancelling my monthly membership of Daily Wire. That's going to be a huge problem. So that's why they might not bring on any devout Hindu on Jordan Peterson's podcast. Okay. I don't see many Indic wingers react on this. Their network is too good, as even though they stay in the West, yet they speak out when Muslims in India play victim card and even support Indian Muslims. Yes, because too many stupid Indians just think that, why bother? Kya hoga? Why should we bother about them? Who cares what they say? Who cares? 100 बार मुझको बोलेंगे, who cares what Vivek Ramaswamy says? Who cares what Republicans do? And then they will say that, see, they always comment on us. Why don't we comment on them? And they'll go to listen to Palki Sharma. Ajib baat hai. Palki Sharma is like a fart. Not her personality. What she stands for. Her channel. Her views. What is a fart? You don't want to smell your fart. A fart is addressed at someone else for them to faint. Okay. Now what Palki Sharma covers, that everything about the West is bad. Nothing to learn from the West. No good thing ever happened in the West. Slavery, rising income inequality, racism chal raha hai. ये सब बोलो, ठीक है, वो कोट्स, वो न्यूज़ कवरेज पालकी शर्मा का हमको चाहिए. जब कोई फालतू में आके बोलना शुरू करेगा कि इंडिया में तो कैस्ट सिस्टम है और टॉयलेट नहीं है पूरे इंडिया में, तो हम भी ये सब वीडियो उनके मुंह पे मारेंगे, ठीक है. मगर खुद का तुम्हारा ऑनेस्टी कहाँ जाएगा? तुमको खुद को तो जानना है, ऑनेस्ट क्रिटिसिज्म तुमको करना है, ताकि तुम जो चीज़ें वहाँ पे ठीक से हो रहे हैं उनसे कुछ तुम सीख सको. तो पालकी शर्मा सीख के वो नहीं होगा, पालकी शर्मा सुन के. So my problem is that people listen to Palki Sharma when she criticizes those people. They also complain that India does not have a American Studies department, or we don't comment on their occurrings. And then they tell me that why are you commenting on Vivek Ramaswamy and Republicans? Ajeeb baat hai. Shravya, yeah, that guy is an Atatai, therefore a clear enemy. Oh yes. Vivek's biggest challenge would be winning Republican polls, cause Republicans are dumbos. But if he is able to win Republican polls, he is going for a landslide victory. I think the table is going to turn after the real life, I mean actual debates. Debate stage में घूमने वाला है खेल. I'm glad Sanjay Dixit took note of Vivek. Maybe he can popularize his ideas here. Sanjay Dixit is not a very socialist person. He supports free market to a large extent. He criticizes bureaucracy left and right. And he brings Mr. Vijay Sardana ji, who I am an absolute fan of. What a great man. Such an old person, and I used to think the only cool millennials and people who are in their 30s or early 20s are the libertarians. This man understands capitalism inside out. So Sanjay Dixit hints that he knows these ideas and that these ideas are great. He's going for landslide victory. Okay. Vivek's best solution for education and how to screw teachers union and free schools from them. Best. Yeah. Teachers union is bad. Shut down the FBI. All great solutions which can work for us as well. But I'm talking about specifically his solutions for at least his diagnosis of the problems, which people don't even know that there is a problem, which is the things pushed by Vanguard, State Street and BlackRock. ESG funds, okay. Green smuggling, green washing. Check out these terms on Google. These three asset management funds collectively own, I think even all of them own $8 to $9 trillion of assets on their own, and they own majority stakes on almost every major company in the world, and they own high amounts of shares even in each other. And then they tell American companies whatever they manufacture to not manufacture. They tell gun manufacturers in America to not manufacture guns for below people who are below 21, or they will they threaten that they will change their board members, etc. Then they tell their petrol extraction or energy extraction companies to not drill, to not frack. Okay, but that's fair enough. You all can think that okay, that if that creates a bad GDP for USA, that's great for India. No, it's not. They are great friends with China because they have started the first foreign-owned mutual fund in China. BlackRock has. Okay, so for example, Chevron used to have an energy extraction plant in China. They forced Chevron to close that down, saying that it's so bad for environment. How can you do this, bro? As soon as they close it, a Chinese manufacturing plant buys that place and is now extracting same energy. Okay, and after that, Chevron gets to open a bank there, and BlackRock gets to open a mutual fund there, gets to open a bank there. So that is the problem with the problems that Vivek is pointing out, because his problem with the ESG movement is they are first of all anti-Indian and pro-China. My reason for following that is that not the fact that they are anti-USA. I can't care about that. I don't need to care about that. But the fact that they are pro-China. China is our common enemy, and for that we need to read Vivek Ramaswamy's books and his solutions. And other than his pro-market policies and destroying the government bureaucracy system, वो तो absolutely applicable है ही India के केस में. Vivek Ramaswamy takes on lots of comments. I like it. Let me check. Vivek Ramaswamy's takes on bureaucracy is so Chanakyan. Yes, he wants them gone from the face of the earth. Lol. I will tell you, it's more Chanakyan than people think. I think libertarians might now probably will start masturbating at Vivek Ramaswamy's words, but he's not as libertarian as they think. Vivek Ramaswamy has sat down with at least two libertarians, Dave Smith and John Stossel, and said to their faces that, look, I used to be a libertarian. I used to be a libertarian rapper in college, but I'm not a libertarian now. Because libertarians think that this world will beautifully, nicely function on its own. It will be a brotherhood of man, and everyone will follow everyone just out of their self-interest and business, etc. Okay, it will be that anarcho-capitalist model. No, That's not what's going to happen. This is what Vivek's saying. Government has to be there. The state has to be strong. The government needs to do governance best. The free market needs to be left to do its job best. The government needs to make sure there is a free market, not a monopoly, not corporatism, not crony capitalism. And that is the Chanakya way. Chanakya way is 100% that look to government bureaucrats with suspicion always. Just like a fish, you can never know when a fish is drinking water. You can never know when a bureaucrat is stealing money. That is Chanakya's direct quote. And then he has given out directives that always be careful of bureaucrats even any government official on the roads, and make sure that they don't harass people, all the people who are carrying different goods, etc. So having a skeptical mindset towards government employees is what we have absolutely lost today, and that Chanakya absolutely advises against. But he says, स्टेट सर्वोपरि है, स्टेट नहीं जाएगा भोसड़ी के, स्टेट के जगह पे रहेगा, उसका काम ठीक से करेगा, मार्केट अपना काम ठीक से करेगा. दैट इज द चाणक्यन वे, दैट इज द विवेक रामास्वामी वे. Okay. Yeah, he wants them gone from the face of the earth, lol. Yes. What's your opinion on Mewat and increasing frequency and amplitude of anti-Hindu violence? আমরা মারও খেতে থাকবো, আবার গালও আমরাই খেতে থাকছি. Yes. এটা তো, see, Modi's view on these Mewat situations is that great. It will help cause awareness among Hindus. So maybe that has a long-term gain, that it will help. It's an absolutely, what I'm about to say is an absolutely vile, vicious and unfair thing to say. But it is what it is. It is what I'm saying is predicated on the situation I am in. I'm not in Mewat right now getting my ass handed to me. But as far as debates and conversations go, the more these things happen, the more you get to argue with your commie friends that see Muslims are doing this. And see, why are these things important in the debate sector as well? Because even yesterday I read in the Ganashakti newspaper, which is the CPI mouthpiece, that Hindus are attacking mosques. Even in Mewat, they are saying, commies are saying that no, Hindus are to blame here. So you see, even for debate set pieces strategies, these incidents are still so strong. So use these things as set pieces to win arguments at the very least. And other than that, it can be solved only with tremendous law and order oversight, overreach, police state, something akin to Yogi Adityanath, if not more, if you want to really prevent these things, which is a big problem. Because when Yogi Adityanath goes out of power, and imagine Mamata Banerjee comes to power and does the same things that Yogi Adityanath does, your story is over. So my solution has to be applied here. Decolonize self-defense laws. वो करना ही होगा, क्या करें. I will vote Vivek if he were to be in Indian PM race. No leader is as clinical as Vivek currently. The policies he has been proposing are ahead of his time. I would vote for Vivek's pet dog. I would vote for Vivek's dead body over any Indian politician. And there is no such thing as Hindu phobia. Of course there is. There is such thing as Hindu phobia, but not to the extent of them not voting for Vivek. उतना Hindu phobia नहीं है वहाँ पे. कुछ लोगों में है, but that number of people is very low. Vivek knows how to screw bureaucracy, an excellent lawyer and first principle guy. Yes. Palki is so mediocre. Yes. Here to learn. Well, a day ago, 250 houses of violence got razed with bulldozer in Mewat, so at least BJP retaliated out there. Yes. But retaliation is not the solution. Not having so many people get kicked out of their houses is the solution. Uske liye decolonizing self-defense laws is necessary. Many people say that Vivek Ramaswamy being president and making USA great again is detrimental to India. There is a possibility. I'll be honest. There is a possibility, because if Vivek really does what he is planning to do, USA's GDP growth rate is going to go to the stratosphere. It's going to go to at least 5 to 6% per year. Okay. Then it's not that they are going to screw India because of that, but our voice won't be as important because of that. Now, the counter argument that some NRIs have given in my comment sections who are planning to vote for Vivek and who have subscribed my channel because I made videos on Vivek, they are saying that no, see, USA's growth automatically means India's growth as well, because the common enemy is China. They are going to shift all their manufacturing to India, and for that they will need India only. चाइना के अलावा, चाइना से तो हटाएंगे ही, इंडिया में ही होगा मैन्युफैक्चरिंग. उनका जीडीपी ग्रोथ रेट जितना भी बढ़े, उनका पूरा मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूएसए में शुरू हो जाएगा, ऐसा नहीं पॉसिबल है इन द नियर फ्यूचर. Because then, I mean, American products will be absolutely unaffordable outside, which is already the case anyway. जिसके लिए विवेक का solution है कि he wants to get off the, he wants to de-dollarize as well, because American products are unaffordable mostly. But also, okay, एक मिनट, एक suggestion यहाँ पे Google से मिल रहा है, suggestion. We recommend you use a stream bitrate of 4500 kbps. Okay, I think this might be the problem. I'll fix it next day. Okay, anyway. So if de-dollarization is done by Vivek, then still the problem remains. If they shift manufacturing, theoretically, hypothetically, it's not going to happen in real life anyway, completely to USA. All manufacturing is done by USA for itself, by itself. Okay, in that case also, no exports for USA. They can't live in isolation. So the argument of that NRI, some of those NRIs who supported my video, their argument holds up in this place, in this context, that Vivek's rise with USA's rise means automatically India's rise. Now, but India's losing a voice is pretty significant and is very problematic. And the solution to that is, of course, our education system. And for that, you absolutely need to defund sociology and English literature and all social sciences and all those studies, wo studies, all of that has to be defunded as soon as possible, and use all that money for STEM fields and technical fields. Otherwise, it's not, no manufacturing is going to happen. And I think the best idea that Abhijit Iyer Mitra has ever come up with so far is his idea that he recently said in the P Gurus 2 channel, that we have 545 Lok Sabha constituencies. Why can't we have a very, extremely special, I forgot what's the correct word for this, but an extremely special and boutique and customized school for poor children, which is going to be like world-class, state-of-the-art, with the best facilities, okay, best teachers, best infrastructure, best sports fields, etc. in every Lok Sabha constituency, and not for every fucking random kid. Only for the kids who have shown some promise but are also poor. उनको अच्छे स्कूल में डालो. हर कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी में सिर्फ 545 स्कूल्स चाहिए ये करने के लिए. और इसका पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? टैक्स तो भोसरी के इतना लेते ही हो तुम वैसे भी. कुछ ब्यूरोक्रेसी बंद कर दो और सोशोलॉजी बंद करो सबसे पहले. उससे ये सब का पैसा आ जाएगा. Otherwise, we are not going to be superpowered in any way. There's no possibility. Okay, let me check some more comments. Many people say that, but I would argue VR being president will make woke crowd run for their money in USA, stalling their expansion in the rest of the world. Some of that will happen, but it will also embolden India's wokes to say that, see, the Brahmins are the problem. वहाँ का इतना भला वो कल्चर चल रहा था, ये ब्राह्मण आके सबका मार दिया. That is so bad, and therefore यहाँ के ब्राह्मण्स को भी मारो. And India, so this way we will get a few more years before this crowd comes in a way they are in America. But we have to stop funding sociology for that. We need to stop having this trained army after army out of every colleges and universities in how to complain about life and society. West's best criticism and analysis is by Sanjay Dikshit, and more honest and factual basis. Yes, because he believes in free market capitalism, but criticizes America where needed. That's what I like. That's what even I do. अमेरिका ने किया है गलती, इराक में गलती किया है, तो उसके लिए कैपिटलिज्म खराब हो गया, उसके लिए गन राइट्स खराब हो गया, उसके लिए फ्री स्पीच खराब हो गया, इराक में उड़ा दिया है लोगों को इसलिए. What kind of an argument is that? Rashti, in cause they either don't understand the kind of influence USA has over the world, or they have never listened to his proposed policies. Vijay Sardana speaks Hindi too, yes. His solution for problems regarding economy, bureaucracy and sociology is ahead of its time. If properly implemented, he can counter the entire new world order on his own, yes. Do you think he can win in USA even if he stays Hindu? Yes. Wait, where did the comment go again? एक मिनट रुको भाई, मेरा scrolling अजीब हो रहा है YouTube में. Yeah, Shangramjit is saying, do you think he can win in USA even if he stays as Hindu? Yes, he can absolutely win. And he would definitely win if Trump was not in the race here. But since Trump is here, therefore I don't think he will win at the end. But who knows, in the debates, how many minds he changes more. Let's see. Okay, so on philosophization, this is a unique concept imagined by Plato and followed by the church later. Commies can say that, but unlike Plato, we don't think of the world as a representation of ideas. Sanjay Dixit has studied economics, law, coding, computers, and has critical knowledge on Gita and other shastras, and most importantly, is LA Mike theology knowledge. Is LA Mike theology knowledge kya hai? But other than that, yes. But still, these things keep happening. And Hindus keep getting blamed not just by Rana Ayub types but general ignorant mass as well, including my well-meaning friends. And I am telling you, why is that happening? Who is giving them the content, the lexicon, the language of criticism? Who is giving them the discourse? All your liberal arts graduates, masters, PhDs, professors, and journalists and celebrities who have also done graduation in liberal arts. वहाँ से आ रहा है वायरस, जहाँ से फैल रहा है वहाँ एम्प्यूटेट करो, वहाँ पे यूथनाइज करो, वहाँ पे जाके मारो. ये ऊपर का बैंडेड मार के कोई फायदा नहीं होगा. So yes, concepts come before sculpture because that is how anything works in the world. Recent news: Vanguard getting investigated for Chinese connection. Yes, and all the investigations that are about to happen against Vanguard, State Street, and BlackRock is going to happen on the basis of Vivek Ramaswamy's book, especially this one. Okay, see the topmost here. कहाँ गया? Yes, see this one. It's called Capitalist Punishment. Vivek Ramaswamy has basically given law after law which they are in violation of, but they were hiding in plain sight basically. कि अच्छा है बेचारे environment का भला ही तो कर रहे हैं, तुमको क्या problem है? That's the Shoma Chaudhary argument. वो तुम्हारा क्या जा रहा है? करने दो ना, करने दो pollution कम, तुमको क्या है? But now Vivek Ramaswamy has pointed out that A, they are in violation of all these laws, and B, they are against, they are destroying American companies. At the same time, for those same topics, they are, I mean, those same fields, same genres of company, they are helping Chinese companies. Okay, so now they are in big trouble. Unpopular opinion: most upper caste NRI in foreign countries are woketards and cowards. Who will bow down to the demo quacks at the first chance. They always throw Hindu Dharma any chance they get. Yes, and see these dumbasses are funding the Major League Cricket. What do you think Christian conservative and Muslim millionaires, if there are any, are going to fund? Indian billionaires are funding Major League Cricket. That's the stupidity. So, which is why I say that anything any laws relating to mathas and freeing Hindu temples is a great thing to have, but I don't think it's going to be as effective as people think. It's not like Hindu society is that united in any way, and I don't think it's going to ever happen, because Hinduism is very much about the individual. There is no such thing as he is your brother in this war against the outgroup, or he is your brother in this word of propagation of your ideas कि तुम अंधकार में हो भोसरी के आओ रोशनी में आओ. Since that is not there, it's always going to be a very individual centered society, and that's why freeing Hindu temples is a great idea. I don't want people stealing Hindu devotees' money and building freeways, but other than that, I don't think gigantic cultural phenomenons or benefits are going to come out of that. Hindu unity is not going to happen because of that. That's my opinion. But other than that, NRIs are mostly so stupid, except if they are Republican. Most Democrats who have now kind of shifted towards Republicans after Modi appreciated Trump, a lot of them, even a guy who hosts the P Guru channel, Sri Iyer, right? Yeah, so Sri Iyer, उसके बातों से मुझे पता चला कि I think he was also a Democrat. So he thinks Indians को तो he knows that Indians को तो American politics के बारे में कुछ पता नहीं है, तो Republicans सुन के ही Indians डर जाएंगे. तो he brought on some Republican NRI, and you won't believe what the fuck he said. They were discussing basically Vivek Ramaswamy and how he has normalized a Hindu running for president and getting mainstream fame in American politics, and they are saying that it's a great thing. Now, while introducing that other NRI millionaire, Sri Iyer says that, see guys, he's a Republican, but even though he's a Republican, I mean, don't worry, Republicans are also good, you know. And then he says, even though we are now supporting Vivek Ramaswamy, we know how great the Obamacare was. What the fuck? Obamacare was not good. Obamacare was not good for most people. Obamacare was good for only some people. And most of all, Obamacare was not even Barack Obama's idea. It was a Republican politician's idea. It was called the Bob Dole plan. A person called Bob Dole came up with this idea, which was rejected by Republicans and Democrats at the same time. I think Republicans did support it when Bob Dole presented it, but then Democrats said that no. Okay, internet is back. Yeah. Can you tell me till how much did you all hear? Okay. Many comments have come. Okay, again internet is going. Yeah, some problems is happening. So anyway, if anyone missed because of the internet going away, Sri Iyer stood with a Republican NRI and said that Obamacare is a great thing, which it's not. Obamacare was proposed first by Bob Dole, a Republican politician during the George Bush era, which was then rejected by Democrats. Then when Obama came and rebranded it and called it Obamacare, Democrats said it's the best fucking thing that to ever happen on the face of humanity. And except Bernie Sanders' wing, they said that Obamacare is not left wing enough, so which is why they criticize it. But NRIs not knowing American politics is not very surprising, but you have to know that NRIs don't understand American politics. I know more about American politics more than any NRI I know personally, okay? All the Bengali NRIs I know more than them. I can debate them, I can destroy them in debates any day. I have that much of confidence. But I don't blame them for it, because they have to be insanely hardworking, and all of them are in high productivity fields, tech, business, banking, और 2-3 बच्चे. इसके बाद अमेरिकन पॉलिटिक्स कहाँ से फॉलो करेंगे? MSNBC देखेंगे, थोड़ा न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स का आर्टिकल पढ़ लेंगे, तो उससे ज़्यादा उनका कोई ज़्यादा ज्ञानवान है नहीं. सो if they really take bad political decisions, if they don't support Ramaswamy, it's not surprising, because they can't follow politics enough in their lives. They don't have the time to follow politics. So they are wrong, but you don't have to disrespect for them. It's like the Ramohan Roy situation. I understand why he said those things. Maybe I would have said the same things, and maybe 30 years from now, people can say that why wasn't I in favor of street power more, even though Bengal was going to dogs? And as per my situation, I can't really do that at the moment. So I am wrong, but it is what it is. I had my reasons for it, and maybe Ramohan Roy had his reasons for it, and NRIs have their reasons for it as well, for not really understanding American politics. Okay. Chance they always throw Hindu. Yes. Okay. Next point. RSB. Libertarians don't understand that Vivek wants neoliberalism and his policies directly conflict economic liberalism. It's hard for Vivek's books to be popular in India because they are only a fringe minority in India understands or tries to understand how socio-economic and socio-political ideologies directly affect the society. Yes. RSB, you are probably Bengali, right? I'll say what I've been saying to my Bengali commie friends pretty frequently these days. They hate capitalism, but capitalism কখন এদের পোদ মারে তখন ওরা নিজেরা বুঝতে পারে না. ওকে, it's the same with woke politics, woke movies, mental health, all the fascination with mental health drugs. All this is capitalism making a fool out of you, but they hate capitalism. But they have no problems when capitalism makes a fool out of them directly. But they have a problem with capitalism when capitalism makes them prosperous. That's the hilarious part. So what you're saying is pretty correct here. So since people don't understand how much the current brand of capitalism is affecting their lives, they are not going to read those books, but they should. Shaptashi, yes, it's a film which is made before the script is written. Seems logical. Probably outsourcing to India will stop with Vivek. They will want everything to go back to US. They will want to, but I don't think it's possible. India is already establishing the trade in iron slowly yet steadily. Yes, good. আমি জানি না তুমি কী করে কমিউনিস্ট থেকে হিন্দুত্ব হয়ে গেলে, জানি না। আর কোনো উইলিংলি স্লিপদেরকে তো জাগতে দেখি না, আমার সার্কেলে হোক বা অনলাইনে, যারা মোস্টলি হিন্দুত্ব হওয়ার আগে থেকেই। আমি তোমায় এক্সাম্পল দিচ্ছি। আমি আমার পার্সোনাল লাইফে এই মুহূর্তে 5 জন রাইট উইঙ্গারকে চিনি, যাদের মধ্যে 2 জন আমার রাইট উইঙ্গার হওয়ার আগে থেকেই তারা রাইট উইঙ্গার ছিল এমনিতেই। তাদের মধ্যে ফ্যামিলিতেও কেউ একসময় আরএসএস করেছে, তো এবং এদেরকে আমরা খুবই খিল্লি হিসাবে দেখতাম ফ্যামিলিতে। ও ওয়াই এম আই স্পিকিং ইন বেঙ্গলি? আম সরি শিট। হিয়ার টু লার্ন ইজ আস্কিং, হি ডাজন্ট আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড ওয়াই আই বিকেম আ হিন্দুত্ববাদী and while being a communist until so recently. So are there any other people changing as well from this darkness and coming and seeing the light? So what I was saying to him is that at the moment I know basically 5 people in my life who are right-wingers, okay, who are not leftists. two of them were right-wingers even before I turned right-winger. I think some people in their families were also RSS workers. But other than that, we used to look at them as really stupid people, cute stupid people that, oh, you are a right-winger, what the hell. But after all, you are still our family friends and relatives. Okay, fair enough. But the other three people have all shifted to right-wing or non-left because of me. And why is that? I'll tell you their bios basically. One of them used to believe that there is racism and casteism everywhere. Now doesn't believe in those things. One of them even said to me that, okay, there is no proof that Hindus did the same kinds of atrocities as Muslims everywhere, but what if they did and the proof is not there? So he believed in the idea that Hindus are bad to that extent that even if there is no evidence, he was ready to believe that Hindus are to be blamed. Now he isn't anymore. And there's another person who was absolutely far left, commie, woke, vegan branch of wokeism. She's I think she quit veganism for a weird reason. I disagree with her on that. But she was very fanatically pro mental health awareness, mental health drugs, which caused her health to deteriorate even further. But now she is a devout Shiv Bhakt, does all the fasts required for Lord Shiva every week, and she practices Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and is fit as fuck now. So, but my personally change happened obviously because of Sanjeev Sanyal, but also one important thing that I think credit enough is that it's not just because of Sanjeev Sanyal. Guys, let me tell you, my parents are really, truly liberals. My father is a communist who believes that it's basically your duty to serve poor people. Since he is not a scholar, he is a ground level party worker who organizes people. He believes that communism is a great thing. That's what he was taught when he came as a kid, dirt poor from Bangladesh, and Pramod Das Gupta and CPIM did the outreach with these people, helped them settle lands and helped them build roads in front of their houses, etc. when it was just pure water and ponds in all around them. So he got this idea that communism is great for poor people and we need to help poor people. That's why I'm doing this for the country. He started doing communist work because he wanted to serve the country. But other than that, both my parents on all sides have been truly liberal because they have never forced communism on me. They never said that Hindus are so bad, Hindus suck, Hindu scriptures suck. I have never had any disrespect for the Indian flag ever growing up. Every time, all my life, I have gone to Independence Day parades countless times with my communist father, and I've always looked at reverence with the flag. Even when I was a far left commie, when I used to ride my bike, when I hated basically everyone in the world because I was thinking that capitalism and patriarchy is screwing my life. Even then, whenever Indian Army vehicles were passing by, I used to let them pass in front of me. Those were the values I grew up with, because they were truly liberals, and that generation of commies are probably not going to happen in the next generation. And that is why, while reading Sanjeev Sanyal's book, I became like this. I was truly raised as a free thinker by my communist parents. Okay, let me check some comments. যেসব আর্টিকেল বা ইনফরমেটিভ লিঙ্ক পাঠাই বন্ধুদের যে দেখ ভাই চোখ খুলে খুলে দেখতেই ভয় পায়, don't know how to care, just say bhag fashion. Here to learn. Okay, now here to learn is saying that I send links to so many people to educate them on these things. They don't. See, this is where my background as a vegan animal rights activist comes into play. It's a great experience to have in terms of how to convince people, how to talk about an idea that they absolutely disagree with, and how to completely blow their mind about something they think is absolutely right in these contexts, and how to especially poke holes in their ego. Okay, because what they believe is that they are on the side of all oppression, all atrocities everywhere. They are standing up for the people who are victims of atrocities everywhere. So when it comes to animals, how about you give a shit about people who are, or the creatures who are being victimized? Tab nahi. Okay, so here's then when you realize this, that no, they are not going to apply all their woke ideology narratives on when it comes to eating animals. So that trains you how to basically debate these people. And what I've realized is that sending links gifting them books is not the way to go. It's a complete waste of time and your money. You absolutely have to engage them respectfully, peacefully, nicely, sweetly. Debate them. If they are rude, criticize them back, be harsh to them. If they are polite to you, be polite. If you see them debating a right-winger really harshly, you should go there and have a nice conversation. Play the good cop. If you see them having a nice conversation, but also completely, destroying that person because of maybe he has stronger arguments, then also be strong with him and give your arguments. But arguments are the way to go, not sending links, because you are asking him to take his own action. If someone had sent me Sanjeev Sanyal's book and said that, see, you think India has no history to be proud of, read Sanjeev Sanyal's book, see how wrong you are, I would not have read it. It does not work that way. It has to come of your own accord. वो आएगा जब वो डिबेट से होगा, या नहीं तो तुम खुद बाई चांस कोई यूट्यूब में वीडियो देख लोगे. That's what happened to me. I became a libertarian because I started listening to Jordan Peterson, then Thomas Sowell, etc. I learned first of all that, okay, capitalism is really kind of good. Oh, communism is not great. Oh, Stalin did these bad things. That's what I learned in 2018. So I became a libertarian after that. And in 2021, I learned of someone called Sanjeev Sanyal. Then he says that, I really have respect for libertarianism, and that blows my mind. I think, India में libertarian, government में libertarian कहाँ से आ गया भोसड़ी के? चलो उसका book पढ़ते हैं. Then I realize, what the fuck, India was great. And then my journey starts to this side. So no one sent me links, and that's why I never send links to anyone to argue, to convince or persuade anyone. Okay, Jeshav article. Okay, Rusty, thank you for understanding. Sriharsa Namaduri deleted his message. Okay, Dada, did you see the confrontation between Tim Pool and wife of Sam Cedar? She's such a, oh my god. Sam Cedar is very pathetic to begin with. I did not know that woman is his wife. I know who you're talking about. I did not know she is his wife. Yeah, that was hilarious. She got destroyed. Do you think Vivek Ramaswamy can debate the brash Trump when the debate turns into a shouting match? Yes. Because Vivek Ramaswamy and Jay Sai Deepak have a skill that I deeply crave, which I don't have remotely, which is how to embarrass, destroy someone in a debate without using one single gali. I don't think Trump is capable of that. Trump is much better than me, at least. But even last day, 3 days back, Trump ended up saying that he ended up calling Joe Biden son of a bitch. But I'm very weak on that. I end up saying offensive words too many times, and that's going to be a thorn in my way of progressing in terms of debates. Who is Shoma Chaudhary? She was one of the founders of thehelka.com. I am convinced about defunding sociology and grievance studies. Thank you. She is the host who was Madhyastha in the recent debate of Jai Sai Deepak. Yeah, and her talking points are about 15 to 20 years old. In Bharat's story, we learned that Debotta Samapti, that is property given to gods, can't be reclaimed by anyone else or the government. But here is government taking temple property. What's the exact law? Exact law to mujhe pata nahi. Sri Iyer from Pre-Gurus, yes. The only socialists I tend to are the champagne socialists, only for the champagne. Kine kawan mo to paisa nahi. Dada, Michael Noyes recently made a video on yoga practicing inviting devils. That's not recent, that's a pretty old video, which is why I thought, when I first heard of Vivek Ramaswamy, I thought, okay, he is never going to get any traction with Daily Wire folks. Maybe only Ben Shapiro will give him some attention because he's a Jew. But Matt Walsh and Michael Noyes are further right Christians. Then Michael Noyes became the first person from Daily Wire to host Vivek Ramaswamy. See, that is what people don't get. Matt Walsh and Michael Noyes are the most mainstream and the farthest possible Christian conservatives in American media right now. They are appreciating Vivek Ramaswamy's ideas. So, जो Hinduphobia aspect है, that's a very negligible minority evangelical population. That's not mainstream by any means. And Michael Noyes later on, while discussing his interview with Vivek Ramaswamy, discussing his interview with Candace Owens, he said, that's when I came to know that he actually knows Vivek Ramaswamy from long before. तो माइकल नोएल्स का जो व्यूज ऑन योगा वगैरह है वो सब he separates that completely from Vivek. Just like when I say that communists are this, communists are that, woke woke people are this and that, I absolutely mean the politics of that person and not the person. If I start hating the person because of their politics, I'll be left alone. I'll just have those 5 people in my life who are not leftists. Everyone in my life, close to my life, is a leftist. My girlfriend is a Marxist, with whom I have great debates. And she's probably the only leftist who has defeated me in debates about 2-3 times while we are debating patriarchy. She's the one who gifted me this Brahma Puran. Okay. So everyone has to separate the person from their all their other beliefs and ideologies. Okay. And that is what Michael Knowles is doing with Vivek Ramaswamy. So with Candace Owens, Michael Knowles says, Michael Knowles was Vivek Ramaswamy's junior in Harvard. And he says that there was a section of the university who were like really, really top-notch intelligent people. And Vivek was one of them. So he knows Vivek from Harvard days. Okay. Okay, let's see. Rajiv Malhotra's book is also eye-opening, similar to Vivek. Hope government take note of all problems that might come in future. Government is not only not taking note, government is in fact doing exactly the opposite of things Vivek Ramaswamy and Rajiv Malhotra are recommending. Dimagi apangta hai wo Knowles bhai, yes. Nothing new, bro. Knowles had made such videos on yoga chakras, calling them demonic and indirectly targeting Hinduism. Yes, more than half of Daily Wire is like that. Shravya, true. And Matt Walsh thinks anime is satanic. Yes, and even he likes Vivek. Obamacare sucks. Yes, it only enriched pharma companies and insurance after backtrack understanding at last minute. Yes, because it was proposed by a corrupt Republican in the first place. वो अचानक liberals का pet policy बन गया. Matt Walsh should be tied in force to watch AOT. That will be light. Okay. I mean, well, chakras are from the tantras, not the normal yoga margas. Sounds magical. And he'll ask the Titans, what's a woman? Yes. Rushteen, let it be out all the way. Though I watched Daily Wire, but Amala Ekupunobi from PragerU gives a more balanced view, but I won't be surprised if she has such backward mentality when it comes to astronomy and yoga. I don't think she has, because she's also a former woke, so she's not from a Christian conservative background. Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh, they have never been wokes or liberals. They have been conservative from their birth moment only. So yeah, Amala is going to be much more reasonable on this. Okay, let's see. Wait, more comments. AIM makes this distinction between Indian communists and new generation wokes who directly import ideas from West. Yes, I was also a Marxist until I started learning about Hindu scriptures due to constant hate for Hindu Dharma. It was a Shishupal moment for me. I had enough and returned to Dharma. Feels glorious. Yes. Yep. And then I remember Mikasa Yandere face. Old gen Indian communists. Yeah. What is your father's feeling about you being a bhakt? He has absolutely no opinion on it. He thinks of it like, okay, maybe it's a phase. Okay, it's just another idea. I have vicious debates with him on capitalism and economics. I say to him on his face, and which I feel really guilty about because he's about 70 years old and I'm saying that all your life's work is basically worthless according to me. And he takes that absolutely like a stoic. He is a true Jitendriya. He does not feel hurt or sad, angry at all. He says, no man, I know what you are saying, but that's not the case. That's not true, bro. That's the extent of his reaction. That's a true liberal. And modern communists are not that. And even most communists, even in his generation, was not that. Maybe it's because he was not a scholar. He did not read the scriptures of the religion called Marxism. That's why he has some sanity left in him. And we come from a Vaishnava family. Until my grandmother's generation, we used to be devout Vaishnavas. My father stopped doing it because he's a communist. But other than that, since he did not read the recommended scriptures of communism, he did not lose his fucking mind. He still remained a nice Hindu in heart, perhaps. I guess. Okay. Rusty, in another video, he was speaking about chakras with a woman who was a yoga instructor and they both were bashing it. It's an old interview. Gondangapurba. Astronomy is different from astrology, yes. Okay. Shravya, pathetic, but yeah, people like them exist. Is there any old copy of Surya Siddhanta? But while debating, info source is required. Their assumptions can't be broken by arguments, but they don't want to read the info either. And in the process, I feel like an evangelist. Okay, good point. That does happen. Let's say, what are your sources? What are your sources? Then I say that I am not going to give you all the sources I read, okay? I have spent my time reading those sources and I'm telling you. If you think I am wrong, do your own fucking research. I'm saying that you are wrong, and here's why you are wrong. Here's 50 reasons why you are wrong. But if you have some curiosity, do your own research. You can't just accuse me that I'm lying. I'm not lying. This is of course applicable for a friendly situation, not for complete strangers. Strangers के लिए तो तुमको citation देना पड़ेगा. दोस्त के लिए इतना applicable है कि तुम बोलो कि अरे भाई मैं तो तुम्हारा दोस्त हूँ, झूठ काहे बोलूँगा. ठीक है, तुम भी झूठ नहीं बोल रहे हो, तुम भी न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स के पढ़ के मुझे बता रहे हो, बट आई एम टेलिंग यू व्हाई न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स इज रॉन्ग and my sources are there, but I have about 50 sources. I have read 50 books. How can I tell you to read all those things and then come to me and debate? Just trust me on this, that I'm also not telling a lie. And if you really do have a curiosity about this, then start reading on your own. Your opinion on Jesai Deepak and advocate debate with Shoma Chaudhary. We discussed this completely in the intro of today's live stream. Okay, so we can't repeat that today. But other than that, I'm going to do a complete live stream reaction on that incident anyway. Bharat story, Mahesh Raja Devi. Oh, I see. No, Panna, this is a new video Michael made on yoga. Okay, again, nice. So I guess he's trying to get Vivek to say something distinctly anti-Hindu, so that his chances, so that he either gets destroyed, or maybe so that his chances increase and maybe more Christians vote for Vivek. Solution is not Obamacare, but to tightly regulate insurance company and drug companies and capture of FDA by pharma. That will automatically reduce costs. These two are biggest lobbying group out there. Yes. Debating and dominating a room with just your word is a skill on its own and very hard to acquire by practice, although you can improve. Yes. Yes, Shravya, I was asking about the new female yoga instructor. I see. Yes, debating should be taught in schools. Yes. Whew. That was a huge live stream just discussing things. Nice. Okay, end of comments then. Okay, then let's end the live stream now. Okay. Great discussion. Next day, let's see what we will start in Brahma Purana. Let's see what's the next subchapter. Next subchapter is called Balarama and the plow. That's a small subchapter, and then Pradyumna's return. And in between, we will do a live stream reaction of Jesai Deepak's interview with Shoma Chaudhary, and possibly then Brahma Purana, or possibly a Bangali Itihash live stream as well. Let's see. You should read Lee Fang report on how pharma bribed doctors union and control. Yes, they do it all the time. Okay. The 3 stages of psychological warfare according to Yuri Bezmenov has been completed when our parents were in school and has no internet to verify their own books. Yes. Past communists were also scum. They supported the British Raj and jihadis every chance they got. They were also against Indian independence. Yes, Gangadhar Adhikari is the biggest example of that. Good night, bhai. I think it is taught in most schools, isn't it? Yeah, in a way. Yeah, most schools, right. I would save this video in politics playlist, do many videos cutting portions of this as well. Yeah, I will, I think. Okay. Thanks for joining, guys. Good night.